Whoa. Ba-ba-da-boom, ba-ba-da-boom. A-shaka-ba-da-bee-ba-da-ba-ba-boom.
So I don't know about that. Ariana Grande, biggest and bunny costume. It's the ultimate expression of human goodness. La 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 la.
Da-da-ba-da-da-da-da.
Mindy used to give the best chalky babas in the Discord. Miss you, Mindy. Hope you're doing well, man. And Dacia C isn't on the Discord no more. What a traitor.
Here we go. Have a little stuff to grind up for some butteronis. And all that fun shit.
La 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 la.
There we go.
No, I've never been to a Pelicans game. I've never been to a professional basketball game in general, so.
TJ ain't missing out that much.
I've seen a lot of sports on the professional level. Well, not a lot, but many.
Basketball could be okay, I guess.
Oh my god.
It's not my most favorite thing, though.
Sorry, I'm having really I don't want to say an upset stomach, but I'm having an upset,
Ooh, esophageal reflux stuff. Poor TJ. Oh no.
I think
so sad.
It's probably that fucking pixie stick thing I had.
Too bad, too sad.
It was called a pixie stick, and I think it was a little much on that sugar.
Oh.
So fuck me.
Fuck me. Goddamn. Goddamn everything. Ugh.
I like touching women. Who doesn't?
There is.
I'll be honest, the chemistry seems very off here. If you want these streams to go better, you'll need to start having sex before stream release that awkward energy you're carrying. I don't really care if these streams are awkward. That's like what TJ's life is for.
Did someone just say that TJ needs to bust a nut before he starts streaming?
Sometimes. It's not what he's supposed to do.
You need to release this awkward energy, bro. You need to bust some nuts before you fucking, do a stream, bro. Is that like some manosphere shit?
Before there's any sort of
the fuck?
Point that's actually been settled upon. I don't come to these with something on my mind to say. If I had something on my mind, I would just make a video. So I just come here and bounce off the chat. So really, you guys are way more in control than I am when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Let's see how harsh this bowl is gonna be.
Streaming awkward enough. I'll try to make it more awkward.
Oh god.
Try to be. Maybe I can talk about the thriller voice. Be like, oh, hey guys!
TJ, Jesus. TJ, don't do that.
Maintain this low level of energy.
Fucking hell.
But somehow still do that shrill voice. But unfortunately, the shrillness automatically kind of injects some enthusiasm into things. I don't really see the awkward.
I would say, why must DJ start?
I don't know. I think
his stream as I start my stream.
Awkward when there's not this constant barrage of.
So I just want to see what he's doing.
High energy, and that's why so many YouTubers, have become these endless fonts of fucking ridiculous.
What's up, dude?
Energy
What's up?
when they talk.
What's up?
Hey guys, welcome to that shit. It's
fuck it. Not screen up.
Bro.
I got nothing better to do. We'll just observe TJ. The three TJs.
I don't like that low key shit. You gotta fucking talk to me like an announcer.
You gotta be an energetic, high content YouTuber, bruh.
Here's $5, you furry freak. Love you, dog. I'm not a furry.
TJ's a furry. TJ's absolutely furry. I say this as a furry because he likes Lola Bunny and Judy Hobbs. And at least one other character. I forgot who, though. And even by his prerequisite, of like you can like 3 furry characters until you're a furry. He qualifies, and yet he still doesn't want to be called one.
Yeah. See, you're the new Ghost release. No, I saw the video on my way here, but I decided that I'd rather.
But even then, that's not necessarily how it all works. But you do you, TJ. Cope with the fact that you're a furry, TJ.
Topic. Yeah, I don't care. Then go. Then go away.
It's actually like the last thing I need to confirm.
It's a chill stream.
For like my vacations in
Women are
May.
legally allowed to show their chest in public after breast removal surgery. It makes me wonder.
Going to a furry convention just before my concert. I'm going to Seattle, and that's gonna be kind of interesting and a little fun.
It's always okay to show.
Mostly there for the panels, really.
I mean,
Cool, like art panels. I know they used to in the past have like an 4-hour like panel that's just literally just karaoke and a bunch of other shit. So,
you know, trans dude.
Talk of the oh shit it's furry night.
But had them.
Well, not really.
Show their chest.
TJ was denying that he was a furry, so I was just saying that no, he's a liar.
But a flat-chested.
Oh, Ripsy. Speaking of which, I did confirm my trip to Seattle. I got the train tickets and the concert tickets, so going to Seattle for show. Now I just need to get the tickets for the furry con. That's going to be like days before that. The weekend before that shit. And the cons own themselves with this. What's this?
There's no rhyme or reason to any of it.
Yo, got a participation trophy. Back my day, losers did get participation trophies. Where the hell is society heading?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
And yeah, he's got the Vietnam Service Medal for participating in the Vietnam War. I love this, you know, this honestly is more, oh god, dude, I just realized that Wojak is disturbing. But, like, honestly, like, funny enough, I'm not even against service medals or anything. I actually think they're cool. I collect, you know, old service medals and shit. Like, so, honestly, all in all, like, I mean, I'm not even against the whole, like, oh, yeah, you partook in this, you know, medal. I mean, if anything, it just signifies as your service of, like, yeah, you partook in, like, active, you know, duty and shit. So, I'm not even against those, but I love how they always freak the fuck out about participation trophies when these type of service medals are literally participation medals. Like, you partook in active duty on these fronts, hence you get a medal for it. Like, our military has one for Afghanistan, for the overall Iraq war operation, you know, and for the whole war on terror stuff. Like, they have medals for this, you know, for pretty much, like, every fucking little, like, thing that they got.
So these are pretty nice.
Yeah, one for Vietnam, Korea, World War II, obviously. Yeah, all these, man, they're a dime a dozen.
Don't think that just because I wrote a 46-page.
It's so silly. Like, these people are just like, it's like, and honestly, so what?
Jump to conclusions and shit.
Like, frankly, it's like, how is a participation trophy, like, bad? Like, like in my mind, there's a trophy that you won, and then there's, like, the trophy/medal of, like, yeah, you participated in the event. Like, that's not inherently like, oh, yeah, you won, you're still a winner, and it's like, yeah, you partook in the event. It's not like an inherent, like, you're a winner thing. Like, those service medals like that, for example, are not necessarily saying you're a winner, or you won, or it's a trophy. That's not what it is. I mean, like, or if frankly, at least in this context, like, these type of service medals, or just medals in general, are not meant to be, like, trophies. They're meant to distinguish your service of, like, you know, specific actions you may have taken. I mean, the closest thing would probably be the wounded, like, the Purple Heart, you know, because it's like, oh, you participated in war and you got wounded, here you go. It's like, oh, great, I feel so good. Oh, too bad the VA doesn't recognize my injuries as, you know, service time related.
So far, so good. Like I said, I mean, everyone.
So, I mean, if anything, the Purple Heart's more of a participation trophy than that, but either way.
I have not yet heard a negative.
The meme still stands.
Say, like, hey, I didn't.
Because it's just silly. I don't see anything wrong with participation trophies. And honestly, the idea that they're trophies is a little silly anyway. They're the ones who invented that narrative.
But that they still enjoyed it.
Like, no one's saying that, like, you get participation trophies. Like, you get, like, awards or medals or stuff like that, or, like, you know, or little pins and shit like that for participation. That doesn't mean you're, like, a winner or this or that or whatever. It's just so dumb. It's like, you can have medals and trophies and shit for, you know, things that are not, like, you won.
Figure out how to rate it.
Shit, there's like trophies and medals that are like, hey, this is more of like you know, aren't necessarily like, you know, you didn't win or lose, but you're kind of like a separate, like, you know, type of like, you know, set list thing. I mean, they got all sorts of different trophies and shit that exists out there and shit. So it's like, I mean, give me a break. Slap face, bitch. Slap face.
1 star.
1 star for slap face, bitch, howdy.
They have, you know, if they want to fucking drag my ratings down, they actually have to purchase the product. War ain't really my bag, but fair enough, man. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens in it besides the war thing. That's just kind of like a pinnacle. I don't think you have to necessarily be into war to enjoy. I mean, like, there's other fetishes.
What's DJ talking about?
No,
Fetishes? Oh my.
No,
Oh my. Chuck defeating me. I am entirely worn out. Damn, dude. Yeah, you weren't exactly having a good time with your truck today, it looked like.
Maybe next time. Grass TJ likes war, huh? Yeah.
Better luck next time, Lash, you know, tell you what.
Where I was,
I will say that, there were at least, like, a few things that we were kind of working on at our workplace, and two that were a little fucked up.
Well, you know.
Like, there was, like, we have, like, this little, wrapper, you know, that, it's kind of like a little heat shrink wrap thing that you take, like, that, you know, parchment wrap, or whatever the fuck, and, you know, it's one of those things, and you use the heater mat, you know, to fucking, you know, like, melt it off and then wrap your whatever fuck, you know, it's one of those things. Like, it got fucked up because one of my coworkers decleaned it, and then today we were taking it apart and noticing like a few little wires that were a little off, so we were just tinkering with it until we kind of got it set back into a decent little spot and got it working again today. So I was just like, yeah. And honestly, it was so fucking dead today. I, like, was being productive at work. Oh my god. It was so weird. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna deep clean shit. And our salad case, like, the top of it is so fucking dirty, dude, that I was like, you know, fuck this. I'm cleaning this bitch. So I got, like, you know, some deep-ass little green, you know, hard scrubby, and got that soaked with a bunch of soapy water. Got a nice fat rag, yeah, that's all nice and soapy, and just started scrubbing the fuck out of it. And like, by the time I was done with it, that scrubby was just, like, worn out. Like, you couldn't really use it anymore. Like, it was just fucking ridiculous. I was just like, bruh. Like, does no one clean this damn counter? I was like, Jesus. Like, I cleaned the other counters so actively that they're always, you know, pretty decent. But that salad case counter, man, I don't know what the fuck is up with that. That makes it so damn dirty.
It's just a rich mine of topics.
And, like, half the time, you know, at a certain point, like, all that residue was just spreading around. I should have taken some pictures, honestly. Because, like, you know, it was just whack. It was just, ugh. Blech.
Man.
Had a lot of elbow grease. I was literally going, fucking scrubbing that shit. I was just doing a bunch of that today, because there was literally fuck all to do. There was 4 of us tonight for, like, really no reason. So I was just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna, like, just do random shit, milk it to shit today, and take, like, hour breaks. Just 2 nice hour breaks and just say fuck it and milk it. And that's just what I did today, because it was so dead and bored. I was just like, ugh.
I don't have to understand it to respect that it can exist in the same world as me.
Or some good old home cooking to celebrate. I got some deli cooking.
What, conspiracy theories?
Well, I guess my equivalent of home cooking. Because I made it myself. It's just at my work instead.
What's wrong?
Honestly, it's kind of convenience about having work so close, especially working in a deli. Honestly, like, I'll say fucking and literally just use our stuff to cook different things. I'll be like, you know what, I kind of want to make something for dinner. I'm going to use our toaster oven and just, like, cook some shit in there.
So it's pretty horrible.
Like, I mean, me and, like, a couple of my coworkers do that type of shit.
I think it's that
where we just, like, we'll make stuff in our toaster oven, we'll, like, turn on a fryer really quick, you know, after we cleaned it up, and, like, make one thing in there. Because if you, like, cook, like, 1 or 2 things in a fryer, I mean, you don't really need to filter it. So it's, like, after we filter it, we'll turn it on really quick and fry, like, 1 or 2 things, and it's honestly so nice and pretty convenient. I mean, it's one of the perks about working in a deli department in retail is that you can kind of get away with doing a lot of shit like that. Especially if you're a closer, because who's gonna fucking stop you? Especially if the PICs are chill as fuck with you. And if anything, you know, like, you let them do it too. Like, hey, you want something to cook? You know, here you go. Just use our toaster oven or something.
I made some, like...
There's someone literally just called cocaine. I like that. I like it. Should make a pizza. I have made a pizza for our toaster oven at work.
That seems pretty
It takes a long time, but hey, it works. And it's fucking
the amount of
delicious.
I would have eaten would have been pretty low. I definitely think it was that fucking thing.
It's fucking amazing. Thanks.
What's up?
Just simply cocaine. I like it. So simple. Very humble.
Antacid chews. Huh? Like, I don't know.
Lit had enchiladas with tiramisu.
Some ice water.
Nice. That sounds pretty good. I tried New Mexico cart because normal cart was closed, and this one was more expensive and not near as good. Rip. Damn. That kind of sucks.
I don't know. Probably in your mom's bedroom.
Yeah. At least for me, like,
3 Chelsea's.
I guess
No.
actually we were for the whole weekend. Like, one of our assistant managers is like handling like a sample display of a bunch of different like specialty cheeses and like salamis and stuff. But they put a bunch of that in the break room too. And like before I left, I just had like a shitload of like salami, pepperoni, and like little crackers, just all amalgamified and just like stuffed my face with that.
But I guess if I'm
Holding myself off until I have like, you know, my bacon and mac and cheese that I, you know, made up from yesterday. Because that's going to be fucking fire. Put a little salt and pepper, a little tinge garlic powder on there. Oh, you know what? I haven't tried it before, but maybe a little sprinkling of like Italian like seasoning on there. Ooh. That actually that might not be bad at all. That might actually be pretty good. What's this? We got another meme. Self-explanatory. Time to make the Easter eggs. Oh my god, that poor chicken.
on here and not one of you went and bought it.
I would say poor bunny, but bunnies are just known to do this, so they're just like ridiculously horny.
Right now.
So whatever, it's a bunny. It's just gonna be a bunny. But yeah, that poor chicken. I guess the chicken don't give a fuck. It's just literally sitting there, just like
Down by recognizing the Martin in the theater. All right.
not giving a
I'm
fuck.
gonna wait till the theaters clear out a little bit. I'm gonna wait till that motherfucker is like, you know, number 3 or 4 at the box office or something.
Hey, what are you growling about? Yeah, you over there. Look at those little ears cocked back, dude. Oh my lord. You're a goof. Quit being a goof.
No money. Pussy. Can I just give you money here? No.
I mean, it's called Rain and Neighbors because they have things called vehicles and they drive around and do stuff. Yeah, dog. Don't be a goof.
For a degenerate like me. Yes. Exactly right.
Freaky asshole mutt. Absurd. Pie would be good or a cake. Actually, I just found out from a short that it's okay if the toothpick from a cake has a little on it because it'll continue to cook from the outside of the oven. Yeah.
About my comment?
Yeah, that's kind of a misnomer that you don't want it like that because you'll make it too stiff. Like, you want that because then there's a little bit of fluff. Like, you don't want a lot of it. Like, you don't want it too doughy, but if there's, like, a little bit that sticks to it, that's good. Like, you don't want a lot, you know, staying on there because then you know it's too doughy. But if you have just, like, a little bit that's kind of very airy, you know, almost, and that's perfect shit right there.
Someone just asked how I felt about it or whatever.
If nothing pops out when you do the toothpick test with a cake, then you'll cook it. So that is actually, you know, true. What you saw there with that short. Sometimes you do shorts like they bullshit you with things. So it's like, oh yeah, this is true, even though it's not. And it's just like a fucking troll or just some dumbass. Like, honestly, Funk FPV, like, he's, like, you know, enlightened me about that. Like, pointing out shit that's kind of bullshit, especially when it comes to, like, fake soldering or fake welding and stuff like that. And because, oh my god, there's so much of that shit. I don't know if, like, Rip or Harley knows about Funk FPV, but that guy's great. He also has, like, a long-ass rat tail in the back that, if you know, look close enough, you'll notice. It's a pretty cool dude, actually. It's just like a hardcore, like, you know, blue collar looking dude, and it's just like, he just points out these silly things, you know, that are just like on YouTube and TikTok with these absurd ass, like, fucking, like, here's a how-to video, even though it's like the most, like, exact opposite thing you should be doing. When it comes to, like, half the shit that they're showing, it's like, oh my god. And if you extrapolate that, like, mindset a little bit, you know, into trying to find shit like that, you know, into other stuff, you kind of realize there's a lot of bullshit out there. But that's why at least, you know, the good ones, you know, pop up to the top and usually are recommended the most. But, you know, always gotta be wary, though. You always want to double check your shit.
I just need to suck it up and fucking take the thing back up. We didn't even get to UFOs.
I stole the UFO, and the government doesn't even know.
With the asexuals, you know, I just don't get them. But I'm not going to judge.
I'm kind of the same way. I don't get asexuality that much.
Because I
guess I do.
I'm at the point now where...
But I do enough to not
because I don't
care.
It doesn't make it.
I get it enough to know that, like, yep, that's a thing.
Humanity.
And I know people that are, so...
a lot from that lesson. So I try to...
At least the general idea about asexuality, from what I get, is that it's like they don't really necessarily see a lot of what could be considered like flirty / sexual behavior as inherently sexual. You know, like, at least from the from someone at my work that's asexual has told me before. It's like they're ace because they don't really see, like, you know, like flirty stuff as like sexual thing inherently. You know, and, you know, so a lot of stuff like, you know, kind of like poking at you or kind of like, you know, like pinching your arm or stuff like that. You know, they're not really doing that in like a flirty way. They're just doing that to kind of mess with you and kind of just like, you know, like as a buddy would or some shit, like as a friend. You know, basically, but they're not, like, doing it in, like, you know, flirty way. And when they were telling me about that, I was like, huh, okay. So, do you, like, you know, have any, like, you know, sexual, like, any, you know, like, any elements about that about you? And she's like, no, not really. I mean, I know I, you know, like, have a, you know, like, some level of that, but, you know, I don't care about it. Like, it's just nothing that, you know, I focus on whatsoever. It's like, it's, you know, like, to me, you know, at least what she was saying is, like, to me, it's, like, nothing that, you know, I, you know, focus on or make, you know, like a part of the identity, which kind of just sounds like they are like a sexual person, but they just literally do not have, like, any attachment to it. It's just that it is, you know, it's like they know they are, like, you know, occasionally they will, but they just, I mean, it's, to them, it's basically like going for emotions, you know, instead of, you know, like, of, you know, different human behaviors, just like anything else, you know, instead of like a more intimate sexual thing, basically. Which I guess I get, but it's not like the whole romantic part, you know, or being in a relationship. Like, it's not like those things don't go away. It's like those are there, but it, I don't know, like, see, that's where it kind of starts, you know, getting confusing to me, because, like, wouldn't the sexual desire part of that also be there, too? You know, but I don't know, see, like, it's, at a certain point it does get lost on me, but I don't know, I don't care. You know, well, however people identify, who gives a shit? Right. Trying to learn from that's called Benjamin the Baker, but he just say that simple syrup can fix a dry cake. That's true. There are ways to fix dry cakes.
Asexual people. Fuck. I mean, I don't fucking understand any of it. You know,
TJ's chat's being like, do asexuals fuck and stuff? It's like, I guess they do.
Have fun.
Like, the asexual that I know at work has got a boyfriend, and I'm assuming that they, you know, do some stuff occasionally, but I don't fucking know.
You can easily and readily get everywhere. For me, you know, it's
like, that's just me as a sexual being, you know. I won't totally 100% get asexuality just because, like, my brain is not wired like that. So.
Like some kind of sherbet, like orange sherbet.
But I'm basically a bisexual fuck, so, I mean, you know, like, everything else about sexuality I'm wired with, so it's like I'm gonna get pretty much everything else, so.
Fucker posers, I don't pretend to understand. I kind of, I don't get it, but maybe there's something to it. Human beings can be...
complex.
Certainly,
From a guy for ace people, the attraction has to be majority emotional. Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Cookie dough ice cream rarely has enough.
Like, because I know there's obviously, because with like a romance, there's a lot of emotion and stuff involved with it. So, I mean, I figured there is.
And that seems like how it usually is. Usually it's like pretty bland.
I mean, it's just not like the same emotion that I would think, you know, that would be kind of, you know, exerted there, like, which would be more sexual emotions. But for someone who's ace, it's not. So, again, it's kind of where it loses me a little bit, but I guess it's just more with, like, the platonic, romantic kind of element of love, more so than, like, you know, the mixture of the sexual element of love and that as well. So, again, I have no idea. Like, I kind of get a general idea about what it is, but all the other specifics and details to it, I don't fucking know. It's, honestly, I have the same idea, like, same views about, like, bisexuality, pansexuality. Like, so many people have been like, there's a difference, but I've asked and I've, like, had to explain so many different times, and both, like, and for both things, they pretty much just sound the fucking same. I mean, outside of, like, pansexuality is a little bit more, like, broad in a sense. It's, you know, like, it's more inclusive, I guess? I don't know. Like, I mean, they pretty much are, like, from what I could tell, just the same shit. Like, you know, so I don't fucking know.
Got your freedoms.
There are elements about human sexuality that I don't totally get. It seemed a little like, I guess, maybe overly complex, but, I mean, we're overly complex as humans, you know, as a people, so, you know, I guess that just comes with the territory. Less than love, while not mutually exclusive, or not mutually inclusive either. Yeah. I don't really wouldn't necessarily say, like, sexual emotions, you know, are inherently just, like, lust. I mean, lust can be a sexual emotion, but I don't think it's, you know, the only thing, obviously. Like, there's just a simple, like, you know, like, sexual intimacy, desire, you know, like, you know, just, like, the emotional, like, passion of, you know, being, like, in somebody and with, you know, your partner and stuff. There's a lot of other emotions into it. I mean, lust definitely, yeah, I would argue, definitely plays a role.
You know, for me, it's slightly more interesting than water, but I really don't give a shit about it. It's just like, I want something to drink, but I don't really want water, so I'll drink a fucking diet soda or something. But it's not, I'm never, like, excited to do it. It's kind of like, ooh, yes, cool, awesome.
It's all about sodas, boo. Boo with your sodas. Especially diet sodas, boo.
What are you doing?
You know, also, one thing I kind of learned too is that there's, like,
I gotta say, yeah, I don't
like
too many people.
Binamorous, you know, like when it comes to or like bigamy or something, where it's like instead of polyamory, there's or monogamy, it's basically, you know, like just two partners, basically.
It's possible.
Like, or I guess a trio, like, basically, like, or, like, you know, husband, two wives, or, you know, two wives, or, like, you know, and then, like, a wife or two husbands, you know, whatever the fuck. You know, so, like, and I honestly thought that was just, like, a very small form of polyamory, but I guess, no, it's its own specific definition. I'm just like, oh, okay.
You know, whatever. You know, it kind of just depends on.
Which I feel like it's just, like, another way to say that that's, like, you know, a marriage, but it's, like, a very open relationship where they have, like, a very close friend that both of them really hang out with a lot. You know, it's, like, it just kind of feels like that. Which, again, that's also just fine.
Yeah, I don't think there's any real consistency.
Diet Dr. Pepper is soda worthy to go. Alright, you know, I will admit, like, Diet Dr. Pepper is actually okay. I like regular Dr. Pepper a little more, but, like, if there's none of that, like, I'll go for Diet Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper's okay. I mean, honestly, it's just the aspartame in it. I don't like aspartame. That shit's like meh.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there are like studies that say that shit's like straight up carcinogenic.
Wherever I go, Pizza Hut sucks. You know,
why is that the sad truth?
Bad Domino's. I've been a good and bad Papa John's.
Fuck Dr. Pepper, not a real doctor. Oh, okay, Rip City, hold up, hold the phone, bro. Dude, if you get like a good whiskey and Dr. Pepper mixed together, I'm not even kidding, dude. Like, it's such a nice, sweet caramel aroma. I mean, just Dr. Pepper in itself, it's alright. Like, I mean, come on, dude. I mean, you're really gonna dog on some Dr. Pepper? I mean, I'm not like a fanboy, die-hard, like, you know, blood and soil with fucking Dr. Pepper, but, like, I mean, I like me some Dr. Pepper. I mean, come on. I really don't like Dr. Pepper, one of my most hated sodas. Wow. Wow. Shots fired off the port bow with that one. Never had Mr. Pibb. I've had Mr. Pibb. It's honestly just a rip-off Dr. Pepper, and I feel like you would like it just out of spite.
Pizza Hut, I pretty much don't even eat it.
If someone orders Pizza Hut, they are my mortal enemy. And I will refuse to hang out with them.
Like, that's nice. I don't really want
Because honestly, like, I remember even growing up, and this is when pizza was already known for being going downhill. Because, like, you know, it wasn't so greasy. It wasn't so just meh and lower quality. But these days, it's like, especially now more than ever, it's like, what the fuck happened to it?
Domino's is about convenience.
Domino's is honestly is good. TJ, I dare you to say something bad about Domino's. I'll fucking fight you, bro.
Too good for it or something, but
they're actually kind of good. Oh, dude, no. Dude, Domino's is honestly where it's at. Like, dude, you want to know why? They have one simple trick. They have garlic butter. They put that on their fucking bread.
I feel like every time I've ever gotten wings from a pizza
like,
place,
honestly, Pizza Hut's too greasy. Exactly, Pizza Hut's too greasy. Domino's is too salty. How in the fuck? What? Really?
Last time I ordered some...
what? Oh, dude, what is wrong? Dude, heathens. There are heathens in the chat.
But
Rose is the only non-heathen so far. You could crank a car. Yeah, you could crank a car with grease with the Pizza Hut, dude. Yeah, you can like literally like lube up a car and like use the grease from Pizza Hut to like, you know, get a car oiled out, dude, and tuned up. Oh my god.
I sprayed them.
That is so true.
Like
hey Harley, maybe your truck would have been fixed up a little bit if you had some Pizza Hut grease.
Like 3 or 4 minutes. Motherfuckers got crispy.
Since you love it so much.
So I
usually Hot Lips and Sizzle Pie. Now those are fucking bangers.
Fucking dope.
Hot Lips, Mod Pizza, Sizzle Pie. Those are some good shit. And I'm really sad that Hot Lips is closing down around here in town, dude. Like, why is Portland losing Hot Lips? Can we not lose Hot Lips? Hot Lips is amazing. Domino's is super salty compared to those two. Well, okay, fair enough. Because honestly, when it comes to a lot of fast food processed shit, it has a lot of salt and a lot of that stuff. I mean, granted, considering that is true.
Not amazing, because
Hot Lips is keeping 2 locations. Why can't they expand? Like, I hate that shit.
Good, so I don't know.
Go fuck yourself. I could use the grease to grease back my hair. Oh my god, that's worse. Oh my god. You use Pizza Hut grease to grease your hair? No, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't tell me that.
That processed cheese, that fucking Arby's sauce.
Oh god, TJ's talking about Arby's. And by the way, I'm just fucking with you. Like, look, I'll my opinions stand about Pizza Hut, but like, I'm just messing with you, Harley. Like, oh my god, you fucking little sassy little brat boy. I'm probably just really, he probably really wants to smack me over the head with a tire iron now. Pizza grease smells better than motor oil. Hello, ladies. I mean, I will grant you that. That's true.
Can we appreciate air fryers were virtually nowhere before?
The pizza is really thin and hard. Well, that's actually the traditional way pizzas are made.
Honestly,
like traditional pizza is thin crust.
What my air fryer does.
So, like that thin and kind of like harder crust is more accurate to traditional authentic pizza.
Fast as the microwave, or very nearly.
Little Caesars. What about you guys?
It's like
nobody who doesn't own a minivan shops with you guys. Yeah, seriously.
But 100 times better at heating shit.
Dude, Little Caesars is fucking... Not only is it way too greasy, it is soggy. Like, it's so greasy, it's soggy. And also, it usually, like, the edges are so dry because it's been sitting in the fucking warmers all day. It's hot and it's ready, but that doesn't mean that it's fresh and that it's good. Like, it's hot and it's ready. Is it good? Well, it's hot and ready. That's all you need to know. It's like, great, thanks, awesome. This is gonna be shit.
A lot of people try to cook fancy shit in their air fryer, and
it's cardboard and grease with some fake cheese on it.
You know,
and like,
there's very few
like
things that are
artificial colored salt that is excused as pepperoni.
To cook in an air fryer, I think wings is one.
The only reason people go to Little Caesar. No one should talk shit about Arby's. I'll murder them. I love Arby's. I don't think anyone was. I mean, TJ said something, but we were talking over him, so who knows? Who cares?
But yeah, I like
the trifecta of the TJs are irrelevant in this case.
I wouldn't mind having a deep fryer though too.
dude, I want a deep fryer in my house. Honestly, like, I will admit,
Chelsea always puts her
I got the air fryer, but I want to, like, a legit deep fryer.
You don't need a fucking deep
Like, you know, that'd just be fucking banging.
fryer.
Fucking make some, like, dude, I'd make dude, you know how much I'd be experimenting with fried food? I'd be like a fucking, like, Texan State Fair, like, food stand, dude. I'd be, like, you know, frying fucking anything and everything. I'd be a fat bastard. I'd be getting clogged arteries, you know, and dying of a heart attack at 26 at that rate. Worked at Arby's for 2 years. I hold the brown sugar bacon in reverence. Is the brown sugar bacon actually pretty good there? Because honestly, I've had like the regular roast beef Sammy's there, and I was repulsed.
Especially since summer is coming on.
So I will have to say I do have a bias against Arby's, but if there is some of that going on, and like I'm gonna have to find one of their sandwiches that has that bacon on it. I'm going to specifically look for brown sugar bacon specifically. A brown sugar bacon sandwich of some sort, like, you know, like, because there's an Arby's not too far away from me. I can go and try it out. Got a weekend coming up, so maybe I'll give it a shot. I'll give Arby's a second chance.
I do tend to bounce.
I do like their curly fries, though. I mean, I will admit, the curly fries are actually pretty fucking banging. Actually, our JoJo's changed up a little bit, and the seasoning on our JoJo's now tastes like the Arby's curly fries.
Yeah, I think.
And honestly, I've been just catching myself eating those fucking JoJo's casually, you know, at work more often than not nowadays because of that fucking seasoning. Like, it's the seasoning, in my opinion, is way better than the JoJo's we had in the past. It's just like, goddamn, this shit's fucking fire. It reminds me of those Arby's fucking curly fries.
I don't know jack shit about outdoor cooking.
The meat tube? A meat tube?
I want to
ever fix the meat tube? A meat tube?
And cook some burgers on a grill. Or maybe smoke some meats in a smoker. And I've seen ones that are combinations.
Hey, it's Mark Zuckerberg. I'm just out here smoking the meats.
That seems pretty cool.
Smoking those meats in the smoker.
Is that
the meats are human
I like
flesh.
the Cajun injected deep fried turkeys for.
Oh, that sounds fire.
But I've heard that smoked turkeys are actually even fucking better. So.
Oh, dude, smoked turkey is pretty good too.
Trying that.
Smoked turkey's fire. Meat tube sounds questionable. Dude, I'm confused. Like, what does he mean by meat tube? Oh, do you mean the drain for the meat counter, like, sink? Do you mean that?
You're thinking about stuff like that.
And no, it's not. Because honestly, I was even showing my department manager about it, because she was like, yeah, I saw some notes about that. I wasn't too sure, you know, what was going on with it. I was just kind of letting you deal with it. And I was just telling her, like, yeah, you know, this thing is, like, loose, and I showed her, she's like, oh, yeah, and you said that, you know, there's been floods and stuff. It's like, yeah, occasionally when it moves, you know, when no one notices, so it can happen. And she's like, okay, well, I mean, probably nothing, unfortunately, we can't do, but I'll at least make a note. And apparently she did, you know, get a follow-up, and they're like, yeah, unless it's, like, totally fucked and broken and just, like, literally just falling off or some shit, or ain't do nothing. So, you know, save it being cheap as shit like they usually are. Because our toaster oven for our fucking sandwich bar needs to be utterly replaced, because honestly, that thing's all kind of janky and broken, honestly. I mean, like, dude, there's really so many different things that, you know, just our department alone could just, you know, do a total rehaul and investment on, but they just don't give a fuck. Because, you know, corporations are not known for, you know, making sure that the shit's all nice and properly maintained. Unless they're opening a new store. And then that's going to be the equipment they're going to be using for, until it breaks down utterly and causes, like, some sort of a hazard.
I mean, Chinese food is pretty good. What if there's, like, a food
It's just so ridiculous.
genre?
Half the time, at least at our department, we're just fixing shit ourselves.
I didn't make.
I mean, honestly, that's what's just happening at this point. We're just, you know, like, some of us are just like, you know, fuck it. We'll just bring some of our tools up there every now and then and just start trying to fix shit ourselves. I've done it. You know, one of my other coworkers has done it. A few, like, I mean, I think actually, no, we're like, it's me and one other dude have basically been doing that mostly.
Culinary tradition.
Because, fuck it, you know, and, like, corporate ain't gonna give a shit. No one else gonna do it, so fuck it. You know, I'm bored, nothing else to do at work, so, I mean, that's basically my gumption with it, so might as well. And that's basically just, like, kind of how I've been with so many different things. I have questionable cheese Danish from a random convenience store for later tonight. A cheese Danish. Cheese Danish just sound actually pretty good right about now, I'm not even gonna lie. But a random convenience store? Like, is it a very specific one, or is it literally just like one of those like Korean mini marts or something?
This, right? This just shows me
like one of the stereotypical. Oh shit! Oh wait, yeah, hold up. Tier list. What we got here?
Japanese, Southern, fast food, seafood, pizza, Mexican, Middle Eastern, Polish, Chinese, barbecue, breakfast, and lunch.
Oh shit! This is just like different foods, like different food styles. What's the best and what's the worst? Am I going to agree with TJ? Am I going to disagree?
It's very limited. It seems like there's more than that. Like
yeah, and also from what he said, I can't even really fucking read any of that though.
Mediterranean I guess Middle Eastern.
Yeah, no, Mediterranean is not Middle Eastern. So the
not like
Mediterranean is not on there.
Greek and this and that. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's not good to your list if they don't have all the different varieties of food styles.
Better than that.
Yeah, find a better one, TJ. I want to see if I can agree or disagree with you on this and yell at you for the screen while you're live and I'm live at the same time, you bitch. Convenience store across from Providence Park, unknown origins. Oh, it's just one. Okay, I think I know. I think I know that convenience store you're talking about. Because I know where Providence Park is. I've
people say they like Chinese food.
Heard about
it. I mean, like
been there
American
before.
Versions of Chinese food. I mean, the thing about it is, when people say Chinese food,
they mean American Chinese food.
People who are, I think there's like a one particular style. I mean, it's not like the Chinese food that Americans eat is like super inauthentic. It just happens to mostly hail from one particular region of China.
Yep.
Because I guess their food got here first. And so the other
that's actually true.
Kind of have food that's
but it's been Americanized, so it's not necessarily true, authentic, from that province anymore. And also, yeah, he's also correct. There's just variety of different Chinese styles of Chinese food, just because there's all sorts of different, provinces, regions, ethnicities that have their own cultures and shit. So,
dietary attributes.
Yep. I think it's even
So I don't think China,
I actually think that's even shown that at least especially with East Asia, especially with Northern Asia, and then with Southern Asia, like a lot of Southern China southward, like just because they have different types of rice that's grown, they actually have because of that, there's been slightly different ethnic adaptations genetically over the thousands of years because of cultivating just these specific types of rice that grow in those regions. Because it's not just one great specific breed of rice that they're all eating. There's depending if it's in Indochina, there's rice. There's a specific breed of rice there, another species of rice, and that's in Central China, probably another one that's in Northern China. There's all sorts of different species of rice, all sorts of types of rice.
Full of Asians, chances are.
And they all have different proteins, vitamins, stuff like that.
Asians in there.
So. Thus, adds different, components and makeups, for the, different, elements of environmental evolutionary traits. So, cool shit. Because I think from what I understand, that's kind of why, especially with people in Indochina that tend to be a little bit more, smaller in stature in comparison to, in Northern Asia, where they're a lot more kind of, bigger and taller and stuff. At least, that's one variable to it, but there's a lot of other variables that play a role to that as well. But I don't know all the specifics to it. Not a total expert on it.
You want to pretend not to like Panda Express is pretty much garbage, dude.
Oh my god, Panda Express is trash. That should just be trash.
That's not good Chinese food.
If you can even qualify as that.
In places if you live in a town that has 2 or more Chinese restaurants and a Panda Express, I guarantee you every single one of those Chinese restaurants is better than the fucking Panda Express.
True. Yep.
It's
absolutely
be worse. The only thing at Panda Express that's even remotely edible is the orange chicken, and that's basically pure sugar.
Yeah.
They might as well just call it sugar chicken. You're basically eating
just sugar chicken.
Candied chicken. Because everything else is
yeah, you pretty much are. Same with our department, because we have a little China section in our deli.
Alright, link it.
Our orange chicken's the same thing. But it's at least actually like mixed together and made like
too sweet.
Like
I mean, I'll
like on the house basically instead of like whatever the fuck they got going on in Panda Express.
It's canned.
Which I guarantee you is probably fucking pre-made and shipped, and then they warm it up or something.
Writer,
I guarantee that's how Panda does it. Like, I mean, because at least for our shit, that shit, like, they get the, chicken and cook that shit up, get all the seasonings, all what's necessary to make that shit, the fucking orange chicken. And sometimes it'll be a little bit more, like, kind of like, gooey with the sauce, and sometimes it'll literally just be, like, candied chicken, like it's talking about, just depending on how the chef makes it that day.
Yeah, smut rules.
Because also there's different, chefs that we have, depending on what day it is.
Oh, here we go. Yay!
Yay?
We found one.
Did you find a... Oh.
I'm addicted to methamphetamine.
Oh shit, this is even better. It has like flags and stuff too to like kind of like show you like which region's from.
Age of 3.
So American food, Spanish,
crippled.
Cajun,
Dad,
Hawaiian,
me.
like Native American, yeah.
Surviving on rats and pee.
Dude, this is extensive. I like this. There's like Jewish, Korean, specifically North Korean. wait, hold up. There's specifically North Korean. Do they even have dishes? Is it basically just like a tiny ball of like white rice with like a sliver of pork?
So American. I mean, American. That's a little all-encompassing. I do see that there's like...
That is a little too all-encompassing to just say American.
Like soul food, Tex-Mex, etc. So I guess we're going to get into some like subgenres of American, but it's kind of weird to say American. But
I'm assuming if with this tier list, when it says American, means like burgers, fries, hot dogs, like staples like that. And with this list, okay, so... basically F, so like S tier, A, B, C, D, F. Okay, so honestly for America, like, that's honestly kind of tough for me.
I'm assuming like burgers, fries,
hot dogs, some good old like T-bone steaks and shit. Like, honestly, the thing is though, I'm thinking a little too like, I'm thinking like, it's good shit, but we have to also quantify this as well though, when it comes to like, the dishes. I feel like, I don't know if TJ might, consider it, but like, we also have to consider all like, the people that make it and it's not good quality. Or you got like someone who thinks they're a hot shot at making a hot dog and then it's just like, so I don't know, like, I mean, I feel like honestly we just have to frankly like, just like take it from like the better examples. I don't think we can really truly try to qualify it, with like, a balance of like good and the bad. Because if so, I feel like that's just going to really kind of bias it, I think.
Shit like that.
I mean, well, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I would say at least for America, I'm thinking though, like when it comes to like steaks, mashed potatoes, gravy, some mac and cheese, with like, some chicken tendies, like a hamburger and fries, like, some like, pancakes, hash browns and stuff or something. Dude, I mean, like, honestly, when it comes to like American food, I'm just going to say at least an easy A tier. Is it any good going to be lower than B tier? Maybe the UK, but if then they have some good stuff. I mean, yes, there will definitely be some shit that's going to be lower than B tier. I can honestly see some stuff in here, and I can already tell. Because the UK is going to be absolutely a fucking F tier, no matter what. Like they're, like, what? Fish chips? It's like, great. Like, I mean, dude, the UK, like, what the fuck food and, like, culinary, like, culture do they have? They literally had to steal that from other cultures to actually get culinary culture. Like, I mean, like, they literally appropriated and stole it from other cultures to get, like, good food. Like, the number one, food that Englanders like is curry, which is not English. So... the motherfuckers like shit that they steal. Like, I mean, they don't like their own shit, so that's why they appropriate everything else.
That kind of bullshit, right? I'm going to assume that's what they're talking about. I'm going to put A. I might go up to S later, but I'm going to put A for now.
I agree with TJ. A tier.
Asian American.
Asian American.
Fusion?
So I'm assuming, okay, Asian American.
Like the Chinese food we're talking about.
Yeah, that's, okay.
Like not super authentic Chinese food, but like...
I feel like we're also have to take in, like, Chinese buffets, like, like the Wonton's like restaurant or some shit, like the stereotypical Chinese restaurant at, in town, and I will admit, there could be some mixed bags. Like, I feel like this can definitely be a mixed bag sometimes. Like, because every now and then, you're going to find some banging good shit out there. That's just, like, some good quality stuff. And out here in the PNW, there is some quality good shit out there. And honestly, it's not exclusively just, like, Asian American, essentially, with, like, Chinese American stuff. There's Thai, Vietnamese. Oh, dude, there's, like, the pho restaurants out there. Dude, there's so many good pho restaurants that it's just, good shit. Like, I mean, there's just a lot of, variety of, like, Asian American, like, fusion, like, food, or at least in the Pacific Northwest, especially in Portland. So, honestly, like, while I will admit, I think nationally and broadly, I think, Asian American is probably more of a mixed bag. Regionally, depending on where you are in the U.S., I think that shit could be fucking fire. And especially up here in the PNW, I think my bias has to, kind of lean a little bit. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say full-on A tier, because I do have to at least recognize the bias and, think more nationally here a little bit, more broadly. I can't just, think PNW here. So, more broadly, I think I'm going to have to say B tier, just because, like, if you extrapolate it, there is definitely a hit and miss, if you, like, I'm just going to be blunt, like, if I had to, pick, like, a Chinese restaurant in, like, Portland versus, like, a Chinese restaurant in, like, fucking, like, Cheyenne, Wyoming or something, I'm taking the one in Portland, bro. I'm just being honest. Like, I mean, it's like, no, maybe the, one in Cheyenne is probably some good quality and stuff, but, I don't know. It's just like, I'm just going to take the one in Portland just because of the more of the authenticity of, like, the closeness region. I don't fucking know. Just, again, it's more of the bias, but an acknowledgement of such. But either way, I mean, like I said, you'll find a hit and miss. Even up here, you'll find some misses. There's, not every Asian restaurant out here is, or Asian food cart is quality. There's a lot of, not good ones out here, or at least, like, mediocre, kind of in the middle. But, I don't know, I'd at least say, it's definitely a solid B tier for sure. Solid B.
It's kind of an Americanized.
But if I had to put my bias in there, I'd put it in an extra absolute solid B. Leaning towards the A.
Food, A.
Oh yeah, Cajun food's an A. Honestly, I almost want to say fucking S tier, dude. Cajun food is just like, I mean, do we have to explain it? Cajun is just, Oh, dude, I may be a white boy, but I love my spice. I love me some spice. And Cajun spice, I love that shit.
Hawaiian food. The only food I'm really familiar with from Hawaii is, like, the poke bowls. And those are pretty good. I'm going to say B.
Hawaiian. I never really had enough Hawaiian food. I've had some, but I don't know if I had enough to really make a judgment. Though I've had different things like fruits and stuff, or at least, and shit that is, like, from Hawaii and stuff. And I don't know, like, I mean, I'm willing to at least say a B. I kind of agree with TJ. I'm willing to say a B. What the hell's Cajun food? Louisiana, like New Orleans, right? It's basically food from that kind of area. Cajun is basically a blend of Spanish, American, Haitian, and Caribbean, broadly. Like, it's a mixture of all these different, like, seasonings and culture, when it comes to food, basically mixed into, like, one big, like, separate food culture, and that's what Cajun is. It's essentially like the main, culture of food, and broadly culture of Louisiana, essentially. Just think Louisiana. Like, if you're, like, when someone says some good old Cajun, they're probably talking some good Louisiana food. Like, and honestly, I just will admit, there are some fucking good quality Louisiana Cajun. Oh my god, I'm a sucker for some Cajun, dude. Like, honestly, like, I out of all the places in the South that I legit absolutely want to go to is New Orleans. Like, I want to go down and get me some authentication and shit. I honestly want to go, even fucking hunt myself catfish out there. Fuck it. I want to go out there and fuck buy and get myself catfish right there. Fucking, cash out shit, eat that myself. Oh man, dude, that sounds like a fucking good ass time right there. It's just like, I mean, dude, I'm a dude that loves some Cajun food. I mean, like, I love some Cajun spice, I love Cajun seasoning, just like different, foods that come around it. Get down with some gumbo and some cornbread. I fucking love cornbread. Then, yep, I like to see you go noodling. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Honestly, dude, it'd be crazy. I'd fucking do it. It'd be an adventure. Hell yeah, man. Fuck it. I might be a lefty progressive fucking dude and shit and all woke, but dude, I love all that redneck shit as much as those dudes, I like that shit. Fuck it. I'd be down for it.
I have not really had too much Native American food. I'm just going to say haven't had. I think I've had some New Mexican, C.
Yeah, Native American food. You kind of glossed because you never had any. Have I had any? I feel like I might have in the past, but I don't remember. Honestly, I think I might have in the past, but I can't recall. So I guess I'd have to be on TJ with that one. I just haven't had that. Does noodling mean swimming naked? I feel like you're joking, but just in case you're not, it's where you basically kind of like, shift, your hand on the bottom of the water and stuff in the bayou, and you basically, with a little bit of bait, essentially. And a catfish eats your arm, and you just pick the fucker up with your arm. And like, you literally are fishing with your hand. It's like the most redneck shit.
Soul food, B.
Oh, dude, soul food. That's at least a B. I don't know. I mean, I feel like for me, that's more of an A. I feel like, I don't know, dude. I've had some soul food that be fucking good, dude. I mean, like some legit soul food too. And like, so I don't know, man. For me, I'd put that at an A. Thai food is S. Oh, dude, Thai food S tier. Definitely. Tex-Mex.
C.
Tex-Mex? Oh, C? Nah. For me personally, I would do at least a good solid B. There's definitely a lot of ridiculous Tex-Mex shit out there, but if you go to Tex-Mex A, yeah. I mean, honestly, broadly, yes. You know what? Yeah, fucking not a B. Fucking A. Yeah, it's an A. Because honestly, I've been to Texas. I've also been to Phoenix and stuff. I've been out. I've been down around about there and shit. Like, there's definitely a lot of different Tex-Mex out there and shit in Texas. And honestly, it even branches out in places like Phoenix, Arizona. Like, there is some Tex-Mex out there. And honestly, it's just like, dude, that shit fucking fire. Like, I mean, it's so good. Steak loaded nachos. Yeah, C tier, dude, that has to be an A.
Argentine, haven't had.
Yeah, I haven't had Argentine food myself either, so I couldn't tell you.
This can't have shit. There's nothing I
can't have?
Can't have. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Have whatever the fuck I want. I'm getting rid of this. Delete that row. I don't need that shit. I bought Going Ham officially better than all of you in the chat. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is that Australian food?
Let's see.
Or New Zealand?
Australian.
Never
had it.
I didn't really think there was. Well, okay, I guess there is, but I never been out to the Bobby. Is ass tier. Well, have you even had it? Like, I mean, they have a tier here where it's like you haven't had it before. That's the very bottom one. Like, there's S, A, B, C, D, F, but then there's, never had. Like, where you haven't had it before. And I haven't had, like, actual Australian food. So for me, that Vegemite shit, dude, okay, for one, that's not true Australian food. That's just some fucking garbage that, for some reason, was concocted by some crazy fucking psychopathic Australian, because they're all psychos over there. And they didn't control that one. And for some reason, it's a weird niche staple for some people.
I'm going to just go ahead and put a bunch of the... Belgian I've had.
Austrian?
I've actually eaten in Belgium. Now, it was a touristy area. But I'm sure it was legit. And from what I could tell, B. Brazilian, I've been...
I'm willing to give Belgian B. Like, I've had a little bit of Belgian. Not, like, authentic Belgian from, like, in Belgium. But, yeah, there's been, like, some, like, Belgian stuff around here that I've had.
Brazilian steakhouses. I'm sure that's not super representative of all Brazilian cuisine, but from what I sampled, B.
Oh, dude, I've been to the Brazilian steakhouse once, only one time before. Yeah, I have fond memories of. It was like, On a vacation, like with a family, like way long time ago. But I do remember fondly it being fucking delicious. So that's at least a good, solid, at least like a B or A. I mean, because obviously a Brazilian steakhouse isn't obviously, like the only thing, of Brazilian cuisine. But I mean, I say it's at least a good summary. If it's some good shit, then, you could probably guarantee a lot of other Brazilian food is good shit.
F. Scottish.
English food, F, yes. And Scottish, just because they're not English, C.
But I'm gonna assume it's just as bad.
Fuck you, TJ.
Make the assumption. I know they do haggis and shit there. Welsh, probably just as shit.
Damn, he's just fucking on the entire bit of the Shidos. You put both in C. Dude, nah. We do seafood better. We do fish chips over here way better than the PNW. We do things dude, like whatever the fucking British have for cuisine, I guarantee you over here, just in the Pacific Northwest alone, we do it better. I'm not even just saying America. I'm just saying the Pacific Northwest, just period. And that includes Canada. That includes Vancouver, and what they're all about. Like I'm talking about them too. This isn't just exclusively American thing I'm preaching here. So you can't even get me on that. It's like, I mean, we're talking those fucking Canucks up there too, because, I mean, at least they fucking know what's up. Like, they can fucking, like, take all that weird British shit and fucking do it 10 times better, because they do. And we do too. Like, like, I mean, my mom's been over there, and she's like, oh, it's so delicious, and she'll show me these pictures of the food. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that looks bland as fuck. Like, is there any seasoning? Like, where's the sauce? Like, where's this? Where's that? Like, what the fuck? I was like, it just looks bland. It looks basic. Like, where is everything? I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it looks unseasoned and just basic white bread, stuff. It's like, man, it's like no wonder they stole and appropriated, like, food from everywhere else.
They got poutine.
Canada's got, like, maple syrup. I mean, honestly, that alone gives Canada at least a B tier. They got maple syrup.
Restaurants, actually, and they were pretty good.
Hey, B tier, yay, good TJ.
French inspired. It's got to be at least a B.
Yeah, if it's French inspired, yeah, I figured it would at least be a B. Plus, it's also just tangentially Canadian anyway.
Legit Chinese. Now, I've been to some restaurants that serve the different styles of Chinese food.
I've been to food carts in Portland that are like Chinese food carts, and that's probably as close as I'm probably going to get to actual authentic. Because, it's like a mom and pop brand thing. And, I mean, it's the same premise of, like, the, Asian American fusions, like, where he has an A tier, same thing, A tier.
The Szechuan style, and the Cantonese style, and the Yunnan style, and all these different styles. So I've pretty much sampled, I think, some pretty authentic Chinese food, and I gotta say, B. Cantonese, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah, same thing.
Macanese.
Wait. Why do you put those ones in B tier? Put that shit in the A tier with the rest of them, you fuck. Fuck you, TJ.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Wait, what is it? What?
Macanese.
Macanese? What the fuck is that? I've never even heard of that before.
No idea.
I literally could not even tell you to save my life.
No idea what Tibetan.
I mean, I know what that is, or at least when it comes to their food, but I never had it, so.
Never tried Congolese food. Cuban, I love.
Cuban food's good, yeah. A tier.
Czech, never really had it. Danish, don't know much about that.
Me neither.
Dutch, I was in the Netherlands, but I don't think I ever had any of their food. I pretty much ate.
I have seen some of the Dutch cuisines before, and honestly, it looks pretty solid, so I'd at least say a B tier. B tier is like where it's at least solid, so I would give Dutch B.
There.
Iraqi? Egyptian?
Would buy it before it's gross.
Oh, it's Egyptian.
Well, then just stop reading before you get to the vor part. Whatever, dude. You'll love it. Read it for the story. The story is beautiful. It's a story of love. Egyptian, I've never really had it.
I've actually had some Egyptian before. And honestly, it's some really good shit. So, A. I'd say it's at least a solid A tier, but I You know, I can't really make a strong judgment, but yeah, I'll say A.
Haven't had here. Ethiopian. I've never had. I didn't even know they had.
Oh shit, dude! I've had Ethiopian food. That's a fucking, honestly, a solid fucking A tier right there. Solid, solid, solid. Dude, I had a coworker that immigrated from Ethiopia and would actually occasionally go back and forth and visit. Visit his family, and every now and then we'll bring back some food, like straight up, like he'll bring back like some different ingredients, to make food and shit, and he'll bring that to work and legit share it with people, and I've tried some, and oh my god, it is like the amount of like flavor and just like textures and all sorts of shit going on. It was like a sarbamba of amazingness. I was just like, oh my god, this is delicious. Solid A, dude.
That's me. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna put a bunch of these that I don't know. I'm just gonna go through this.
Finnish and is that a Filipino? I've had some Filipino. I'd say at least a good solid B or an A.
Ones I don't know.
French, that's at least a A.
Really quick, so we can just fucking.
Hungarian, yeah, I've never had Hungarian. Why is there like eight, so Indian and then it got like Gone, Korbari and something else and then Punjabi? I've had, okay, I'm assuming this is all just, like, for me, I would say at least, like, I've had Indian broadly. I've actually had a little bit of Punjabi, a little bit. Like, there's like a couple food carts out here that are, kind of, something like that. And, I don't know, at least for me, I'd say both of those are at least a decent B. I don't know about these other, like, other, like, ethnic, regional areas of, like, India, but broadly, at least Indian food, yeah. Indian food, honestly, that's a solid fucking A, honestly. Like, dude, Indian food's fucking delicious. Actually, I'll put that shit in S tier. Indian food's S tier. Like, Indian food, Ethiopian food, America. Like, just kind of the Asian, broadly, just like any of that, frankly, at least in my opinion. Like, all that type of shit right there, just all instant S tier.
Don't know a damn thing about that.
Indian food A for me. Well, there's also the S tier too. Gotta get some love to the S tier.
No, I don't really know. I've been Irish pubs, I guess.
Hey, you got Irish pubs. What, you don't think Guinness is a part of their food culture?
That counts.
Come on, A tier for at least the Guinness.
Shit.
And the whiskey.
Shit. Japanese, just Jewish. Matzo balls, soup.
Matzo balls and stuff.
Korean, yeah, I've had some Korean. I've never had northern.
I've actually had some Jewish food before. It's actually not bad. I honestly give it a maybe a C or a B or something.
It's kind of hard to get your hands on, I feel like.
Lebanese. Lebanese food's actually really good. I've had some Lebanese food. That's another. Dude, he has not had. Dude, you uncultured swine, TJ. Like, when it comes to Lebanese food, like, that stuff is actually pretty good. Like, I mean, it's like a lot of the seasonings and spices and stuff are somewhat similar to like Mediterranean and Middle Eastern because it's kind of like it kind of sits a little bit in between, So, like, I mean, or at least on the most eastern point of the Mediterranean, because of this Mediterranean Sea, and then, like, the most northern point of, like, the Middle East and shit. So, I mean, it kind of is nestled in that little, like, sweet spot, basically. And plus, historically, considering trade and stuff, I mean, it's been a lot of those seasonings, spices and stuff, so it's kind of similar to, like, Middle Eastern and Mediterranean, but it's just kind of like a literal blend of the two. And it's good shit. Like, a lot of Middle Eastern food broadly, good shit. Middle Eastern food broadly, good shit. So, by proxy, Lebanese, good shit. So, at least a solid A.
Yes, of course.
TJ, you're uncultured.
I don't know shit about that.
Wait, did he just put I haven't had for legit Mexican food? You freak. TJ, you freak. That's at least like some A tier shit, bro.
Mongolian, I've never really had. Moroccan, I've never had. Nepali, New Zealand, Maori.
Maori food? I want to try some Maori food. Dude, Maori people are fucking awesome, dude. They're really cool.
This is just teaching me that there's a lot of fucking different kinds of foods I need to go
Try.
Travel the world
Yeah, you need to do that, TJ. Culture yourself.
and try.
Norwegians on there. Is Iceland on here?
That's sausages and shit from Poland. Mexican, Peruvian. Yeah, I don't think I've had any Peruvian food.
I've had some Peruvian food. That's at least an A tier.
Portuguese. Romanian. No. Russian. Not really.
No. No.
Serbian. Singaporean. No. Somali. South Africa.
Yeah, a lot of the ones he's going for now I haven't had yet.
Paella and shit. Yeah, that counts. Swedish.
I mean, Swedish meatballs, caviar and stuff. I don't know. I'd say at least a C tier.
Judge that. Swiss. I mean, I've had chocolate from Switzerland.
Is there no Iceland?
I've had Turkish.
There isn't.
Vietnamese I've had. Okay. So I'm ready now. Look at all these haven't hads. What a shame. All these different
Shame,
genres of
TJ.
food that I've yet to eat.
Yeah, TJ, what the
I
fuck?
do not like the egg and tomato sauce dish. I've had it a number of times. The what is that shit called? I believe it's actually more of an African dish any fucking way. I think the Israelis appropriated it. If I'm not mistaken.
What food?
But it's not. It's I don't know. It's whatever. Chelsea loves it. I personally could never get too into it. What the fuck is that shit called? God damn it!
I want to know. Sounds.
What is that fucking shit called?
Yeah, TJ's. Yeah, Chelsea. TJ's like.
I made it a bunch of times. You loved it. I never fucking liked it.
I want to know because I want to make it. It sounds good. He described it and it was like, damn it.
Shakshuka.
Chashuka?
That's the dish.
Chashuka. I like the name of it.
Go fuck yourself.
Sounds delicious.
All right, French. Yeah, French tier. French food is fucking amazing.
Yes, S tier.
Is goated.
And the French period are just goated. Like there's no room to make fun of them these days. You cannot make fun of them.
I'm tempted to put it in A, but some of it is a little weird. I'm gonna give it a B.
Aw, TJ, fuck you. That shit should be a fucking solid A tier. German food is amazing.
B.
Honestly, I'm putting German in S tier. You got the BS, you got the bratwurst, dude. I mean, nah. German S tier, dude.
Food I love. B.
Greek food's A. Indians definitely at S tier.
That stayed in. Polish. I mean, I was reluctant to even leave this in here. I'm gonna say C. I only really had the sausage. It's fine.
Polish is okay. It's a B tier for me.
They're fine. Italian. That's fucking goated as fuck.
Goated as fuck. Yep. S tier shit.
They're doing. Jamaican. I mean, I've had some jerk chicken and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, Jamaica's some good shit.
Japanese.
At least it could be tier.
Pretty fucking legit, in my opinion. I'm gonna put that in A tier.
Yep. Agreed.
Korean. I'm gonna put that in A tier as well.
Good shit.
Mexican. I'm gonna put that in A tier.
Oh, I was hoping you put that in S tier. Oh wait, hold on. Wait, so you didn't put that in? Wait, so what was the other one that it never had? It had the same flag. Yeah, probably just a region in Mexico then.
Spanish. I really haven't had too much Spanish, but I like paella a lot. I'm gonna say B.
That's a B,
Thai
yeah.
food, really good.
A tier.
Put that in A tier.
Yep, good shit.
Turkish. I'm gonna put in A tier.
I actually haven't had Turkish food before, so I cannot tell you what that would be.
The only Turkish restaurant I ever went to a lot. It was really good. Vietnamese. I'm gonna say B tier.
Oh, what? What about pho? Dude, pho's delicious. Dude, that is an easy, like... Vietnamese is S tier for me, personally. Like, what the fuck, TJ?
Okay with all this.
Shame on you, TJ.
French and Italian are my favorite. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I'm going to say Chinese probably deserves to be A tier.
Good.
Right next to the Asian American fusion shit. Yeah, I feel like this is pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean,
right there.
I feel like there's a little bit I don't totally agree with, but I think that's a fair assessment. I like that.
Indian is S. I love Indian food, but you know, some of it's
Whoever said Indian food is ass does not need to exist anymore.
I could be talked into A maybe, but I don't think I can go to.
Of course, this goes to only pick up the European foods. Of course.
S for it. Only French and Italian get there for me. They're the same. I don't know. Blame the list maker, not me. I didn't do it. I didn't.
You look like he wrapped that shit up early. It looks like for himself, so. Going to Leon. Little Tej and his shit. His debauchery and absurdity. That tier list, I don't know how I totally feel about that assessment. Most of it I agree with, but there's a lot of shit that I'm just like, bruh. You just go to Portland and try out like all of our food carts because there's so much shit. It's like El Salvadorian, there's fucking Egyptian, Iraqi, Lebanese, like Thai, Vietnamese, all sorts of shit. And then, you know, it's like, bruh, there's so much good stuff. So much good stuff. And yet, he has unenlightened himself. Enlighten yourself, TJ. Do not shame yourself with such unenlightenment. You need the awakening. And it looked like he did. He's like, I realized I did not try a lot of shit. I need to try a lot of shit. What the fuck? Because, yeah, you do, Tej. There's a lot of foods out there. Like, honestly, I'm kind of surprised I've tried more food than he has. I figured he'd be more, like, cultured with food, considering how he talks so fondly about it. I mean, I've tried, like, Icelandic. I mean, he's tried a little bit more, like, you know, at the source, you know, with, like, Belgian and, like, with the Netherlands, with Dutch, and then, like, you know, with English and stuff, fat shaming Ignar. I'm not even saying that in a fat shame sense. I have the same love for food that he does, okay? And look at me, I'm fucking twigs. I'm like fucking pencils and twigs over here. Like, I mean, that's not out of fucking, like, you know, his weight. Oh my god. You're the one inferring that. Are you the one fat shamed, sir? You're the one who inferred that. I'm gonna have to tell TJ. I'm gonna have to tell TJ, yo, Rose, he's been fat shaming you behind your back, bruh. No, I mean, you know, it's like, I ironically have, like, the same affinity for food that he does. Like, so, I mean, all in all, like, I mean, it's literally not even about that. And honestly, it's not even, like, that, like, I mean, no, he might eat me. I mean, he's not even really that big as he used to. Like, he used to be a big dude, but he's not really as, like, he's just huge. He's a tall dude. He's tall and huge in that way, but, like, he's not really, like, as big as people, like, I think, you know, hyperbolically make him out to be. Outside of his size. I think it's just because he's, like, fucking, like, 7 foot or some shit. Or, like, 6'10" or something. I think that might have something to do with it, where he's just, like, you know, because of how tall he is, it just makes him look so, well, big. I mean, Billy the Fridge is, like, you know, fucking huge. Like, he's, like, 7 foot something, and it's, like, I remember seeing him, and even then, like, that was, it was around the time he was losing weight. It was back in, like, 2019 when, like, when I was seeing Jimmy Dore live before he fucking, like, grifted off the shit. And, like, even then, like, I mean, when he was losing a lot of weight at that time, and, you know, looking a lot more skinnier than he used to, and despite that, just with his height, I was just like, this guy fucking towers over me. Holy shit. He's, like, damn near, like, there's, like, half of me that, like, can be added above me on top of my head, and it would probably, you know, match his height. It's like, well, damn. But Bailey is legitimately a sweet boy, though. I had a little fun conversation with him for a little bit. But then I went in line to go get the book that I bought from Jimmy signed, and now I feel like, goddammit, why have you forsaken everybody, Jimmy, with your fucking absurdity? Because that was some bullshit. Ugh. What the fuck? It's Bennett been all that. He was up earlier, like literally just before I started chat with him, and it just like that little hoe. That damn hoe. Boo. I thought he was gonna enjoy the silence because his step douche is fucking off at work. I guess he is actually. It's like, silence. Just fucking just out. What happened to you later that night? He looks in the bathroom mirror and says, "Fudge, he sees a ghost of Rush Limbaugh. Good job, Jimmy. Now you have to convince them economically." I swear to God, man. Like, I don't even want to know what Jimmy's been up to lately, but I swear, if I, like, watch one of his... you know what? Should we? Should we check out one of his videos? Like, I mean, is there also going to be, like, some of that shit going on? There's a lot of shit about, like, Ukraine and stuff like that. And, of course, going after the squad about stuff. Talk about Paris protests. Oh, wait. There's something that's recent. England bans trans swimmers from women's sports. Uh-oh. You know what? Alright, here. Honestly, I want to check out the comments first. Just out of curiosity to see what his audience is like. I wonder where it bends. There. I'm just gonna let the song play out a little bit. Let it finish this song off. Here. See what other, like, videos he has. Have you ever seen his moments where your legs feel fucking solid? What, like where they like fall asleep? Like you break concrete with them? I don't think so. Anyway, here. But here. Oh, he's on tour. Wait, what? All I know is that this isn't a problem in men's sports for a reason. What reason? Really good. They try to beat women because they rank pretty low among men. Oh my god. Yeah, well, I think we're already starting to see. Birth trans record. What? I doubt that even happened. I really don't understand why people are having such a hard time understanding that trans women are still men. What? No, they're not. No, they're not, you fucking... Like, wait, what? Moral and intellectual cowardice? Oh, yeah. Sure. Okay, yeah, alright, yeah. I think there's already an inference of what's being mentioned here. What does Jimmy have to say about it? Do I even want to know?
Athletes banned from women's events by Swim England. Now, you know that even though it might not seem it, that the argument has been lost or won. And the trans athletes have lost this argument. If they've done polls. Can you look up a poll? What's the latest poll on what people feel about trans people in sports?
Some guy just entered a powerlifting competition and just said he was a woman because
they did happen.
It's just on sports. I don't know how people thought this was gonna. As if you're not a sports fan.
So I'm just saying this as a you got to pick your battles.
You got to pick your battles, man. I'm just saying, man. What does that even mean?
2/3 of Americans.
Don't even hear the...
So two-thirds
And by the way, that's what.
So 2/3 of Americans can't even hear the producer who's talking, and it's like, yeah, 2/3. It's like 2/3 of what? Oh my god, man, we're not even in a minute, and it's already making me just fucking like want to melt my brain.
People that care about girls' sports. That's how bad you lost this one.
No, not even close. Because conservatives and right-wingers never gave a fuck about women's sports until trans people started becoming a more prominent thing in society. That was more normalized. You fucking retarded shitbag.
Because this is the most I've ever in my life talked about women's sports. Ever. I don't like any...
Yeah, because you never gave a fuck about women's sports in the first place.
To be honest with you, but...
And now you're virtue signaling, saying that you're pretending to care about women's sports because trans people exist. I want to hear Jimmy's like specific take on this. Like, he's not saying anything.
What you like? What you everybody like?
I like watching women's
That is one where
basketball.
that is one where the footage I saw, the trans woman did not beat the women at it.
You ever see? So anyway, so now they're past. So by the way, I don't care if the ladies want to compete against the trans ladies. That's up to ladies. I don't have a dog in this fight.
I don't have a dog in this fight. Then why are you reporting on it? Then why are you talking about it? Why you make a video on it? Why'd you do that, Jimmy? Why'd you do that there, huh? If you don't got a dog in the fight, well, I'll do it line so that could be it. There's people are projecting the argument has been lost or won. Not even a minute. He's already making. It isn't making sense. It's like saying this food is good or bad. I mean, yeah, and also, like, then he just, like, comes out being like, I don't got a dog in this fight, you know, like, whatever, like, I don't got a take, really, but, so it's like, what, so what's even the point? Besides just to fucking, you know, like, use this as a way to just, like, you know, galvanize, you know, his followers now, because he knows where they fucking lean, considering that we preemptively were looking at these fucking comments earlier, and they seem to already have, like, you know, the right-wing bent, as I figured. So, it's just like, huh. That's probably why there, Jimmy. You fucking grifty bastard. I mean, I didn't really want to watch the whole video. I just wanted to kind of, you know, like, you know, see and infer what, you know, maybe this, you know, take was. And he's like, well, I don't care if ladies and trans ladies want to compete together. I don't got a dog in the fight, you know. So why do you care? Why do you report on it, then? Why do you talk about the fucking, you know, why do you talk about it? If you don't got a dog in the fight, then, asshole. Why exacerbate, you know, the fucking problems when it comes to this whole culture war nonsense, you dipshit? Just because you get a little extra money in your fucking pocket, you son of a bitch. Man, it's like, what the fuck, Jimmy? You sad sop. I have to be completely neutral. Then he hands one of those boxer brass knuckles. What are you doing, doggo? Still a little pup. But yeah, I guess, you know, so he's got shit like that. I mean, here, I mean, look. I guess he's got a fucking boner for Matt Taibbi, because this is not the only video he has on him. Like, look, we'll go from here and go up. There's one. There's another one. A fact check of Matt Taibbi. And then AOC's cheap shot at Matt Taibbi. So, yeah, dude, like, Jimmy Dore has a fucking hard-on about Matt Taibbi. I recognize the name, but I don't know or fucking care about who that is, really. Like, I mean, I don't know who it is. So, I mean, yeah, I got no fucking clue. It should be over versus childhood vax recommendation. Oh my god, he's still pushing that shit. Dude, fuck off, Jimmy. Dude, what a sad fucking dude. It's like, man. Like, honestly, it was like 2020. It was basically like their first half of 2020 was not like where I think Jimmy totally fell off quite yet, but as soon as like the last half of 2020, basically from like the summer onward, that's when like it really like just like And that's when I got really turned off. Because honestly, like, he was still predominantly, like, going to, you know, about, like, you know, trying to push for the whole, like, you know, more hyper-aggressive, progressive thing, you know, at that point. But I guess at a certain level, he didn't see enough money in that, so now he's doing this stupid shit and still fucking doing it. It's like, you fuck. It's like, man, like, honestly, outside, you know, of the right-wingers now at this point, Jimmy Dore, like, you basically have fallen into obscurity amongst the progressives. Even though, ostensibly, like, honestly, I saw a few clips of him, you know, talking about, like, East Palestine and, you know, and a few videos about workers and shit. So it's like, I mean, it's like, it's not even like he doesn't have, like, you know, some aggressive shit that he's, like, shilling and stuff. I mean, he is, but it's not under fucking true merit anymore, and progressives see for that shit, so it's like you fall into obscurity with, you know, the people that would normally be sold on those issues from you, but not from you. So, like, they're gonna be sold on to other people that actually give a fuck about that shit. I mean, it's like, come on, you dumbass. It's like, frankly, he could have just, like, you know, even if he was a grifter and shit, you know, at the end of the day, he could have, like, grifted strictly with, like, labor or something like that, because, I mean, he does evidently care about that to an extent, and makes a video every now and then about that, so he could have, like, harped on that, because he could have made a pretty big buck on, you know, being a loudmouth asshole on that front. And frankly, probably would have made some waves doing stuff, honestly. But, no. Just end up being a fucking schmuck. Wait, what's this? Matt Walsh copes hard during debate with Giga Stacy trans woman. Wait, what? Let's have to scroll really quick and I see this. I never knew this happened. I want to see Matt Walsh get fucked on, so I definitely am down for this. Hey, Voosh. What's up, Voosh? He's wearing a flower Hawaiian shirt. God damn it, why do you have to, like, have some suave drip?
Before, how much of a waste of time it is to confront propagandists like Matt Walsh in an environment where they have the upper hand. You know, when you have these conferences, especially at universities, the audience is going to be against you. The speaker is standing behind a podium. They have an innate authoritative presence in that environment. And what's more, they control the mic. They can speak over you. Your mic can be cut. Your mic can be pulled from you. Now, this is a perfect example. All right, here, we'll watch. You'll see. We'll watch.
Of course he has to do that.
How would you define a woman? Because you've asked other people up here.
Like a person, but smaller.
To define how we would define a woman. How would you define a woman, Mr. Walsh?
An adult human female.
Whee! We're gonna be a bunch of harpy seals! Which, honestly, like, wow, what, like, that's the most, like, I mean, like, that's the most simplest, like, vaguest, broadest answer you can give, because that's not even, like, wrong. Because the thing is, whether Matt knows it or not, that also can mean trans women, too. An adult, you know, human woman. That could also mean trans woman if you at least include them, if you're inclusive like that. Unless you're Matt Walsh and you're a scumbag fucking random, like, leech worm creature that is amalgamified to look like a human. Like, then, you know, then, you know, it's not. But, you know, like, broadly, though, it's like, if you at least include, like, you know, intersex who identify as women, or, you know, non-binary that, you know, maybe lean, you know, with the more, you know, woman, you know, like, you know, feminine element of, like, you know, presenting themselves and identify maybe more leaning that way, you know, broadly, you know, within the non-binary spectrum, or just trans women, you know, and shit like that. Guess what includes that too? So, tough shit, Matt Walsh. Facts don't care about your feelings, bitch. And man, I want someone to literally just, like, fucking, like, take a goddamn Bowie knife and just, like, fucking, like, start, like, ripping that fucking beard off his face with it. Like, I mean, seriously. Like, you know, take that Bowie knife like a razor and just start, like, you know, just start, like, cutting that shit off his face. Like, he doesn't deserve to have a fucking beard, that goddamn manlet little bitch. Got a bunch of harpies clapping.
Soy.
And how don't trans people How doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Because they're not female.
See, so you can see immediately like why this environment isn't conducive to any kind of call out. Because anytime they say anything, they'll get like 4 minutes of applause. And I mean, here the audience has come.
And also, before I lose my point, but like, I noticed that it's like because they're not female. Well, guess what? Your initial definition of like an adult human woman doesn't broadly say anything about the female biology. Like, you didn't really, like, infer any of that with your definition, Matt Walsh. So, she, as a trans woman, is going based off of your fucking definition. So, what does that have to do with anything because they're not female? Like, now, you're playing around with definitions there, you fuckface. The irony of all these women clapping for Matt Walsh is fucking hilarious. Well, it's not just women. It looks like a diverse audience of people in there, of like men and women. But like, yeah, regardless, beside the point, it is.
Just interrupt themselves, which I actually don't normally see at Daily Wire stuff. So it's actually gets worse. But yeah, literal seals them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have. You said that you are a biological male, correct?
I said I'm transgender. I might be intersex for all we know. About almost as many people.
Wait, why are people laughing? That's literally a scientific, like, objective fact that intersex, okay. Like, intersex before intersex was the definition, like, they basically meant people who were hermaphrodites, which is also still a scientific definition that's used in, when it comes to, like, different, flora and fauna and stuff. Because there's a lot of animals and a lot of life out there that have that are their sex organs are actually like hermaphroditical or intersex. Basically, they have both or can switch from one to the other, and basically do reproduction in that way. So, like, I mean, broadly, like hermaphroditism / like intersex is literally a part of natural, like, fact of reality of life. Like, that's literally a part of like different processes of how other animals have evolved, and at least for humans, is more or less a mutation. But the reason why it is at least a mutation for us is because that gene is an adaptation for other life that has existed, and it's been passed down to us as more of a mutation that happens occasionally because of different developmental factors. I mean, and thus humans out there can also be intersex, and there's plenty of them out there. It's not like an abundance of them or some shit. It's not like there's like 5 billion of them or something, but there's they're out there. They exist because like they were born that way, like literally biologically born that way.
The world are transgender as intersex, and a lot of people don't know.
Well, wait, but that's a different conversation. Intersex, that's a genetic.
How's that a different conversation, Matt? No, it's not. Literally, no, it's not. It's all part of the same broader topic here, you fuck. You fake beard wearing son of a bitch. Oh my god, I just want to rip that fucking beard off his face. Like, honestly, I think I'm starting to get what really pisses me off about, like, Matt Walsh's just appearance. It's that fake fuck beard that he has of that smug posh shit. And you can tell he's balding, too. Look at him. Like, honestly, I've seen pictures of him in the past and shit where he didn't really care as much about presentation, about his hair. And he's definitely got some early onset male pattern baldness and shit going on. I just want to take a fucking, like, that same Bowie knife, to just, rip that fucking beard off with. I want to take, the top of his hair and just, like, just shave it down to the fine, surface of the skin. You maybe take the surface level of it too. Maybe not full scalp, just just the surface level of the skin. Maybe take a little dandruff off. Just a little dandruff, shave basically, and just make him have that like monk, hairstyle where it's just like fucking full all around, but that top is all just like fucking shaved clean and stuff. Like just give him that like monk look, and shit, like a fucking like fucking friar or something. Like, dude, he just needs to be made into a fucking clown that he is. And oh my god, and maybe then I might be able to laugh at this fuck.
Well, yeah, that's a medical condition. So that's a completely different conversation.
Hey. Oh, wait. Hey, he's talking about medical conditions. Well, hey, guess what? You know, not every trans person, but a lot of trans people also have gender dysphoria, which is a medical condition. Matt Walsh, how do you treat it? By affirming, you know, their gender dysphoria, by, you know, treating it in a positive manner that does not afflict them with that gender dysphoria no more. Which means changing the gender that they identify with. Not every trans person has gender dysphoria, but a lot of trans people do. And, you know, when it comes to trans people that do have that, you know, is, you know, more broadly a medical condition. You know, when it comes to at least addressing that. And there's, one, nothing wrong with that. Two, should never be seen as a bad thing. And for fucking three, is, again, just one of those things that humans have. You know, like, you know, every now and then some humans develop some shit like that because our genes, like, our genome is that wide. It's that diverse. Like, there are different little mutations and different little things, you know, that happen in, you know, with our genes and shit as we develop and stuff that, you know, might be a little different in comparison to what normally happens when it comes to development and shit. Where it's a little, like, you know, wired a little differently. And there's never been anything wrong with that. And like I said from earlier, there's been plenty of life in the past that have evolved, considering with those mutations and adaptations, if anything, you know, that have actually been beneficial. So it's just like, in a lot of ways, like, you know, like a lot of life have used that as a benefit, you know, when it comes to their survivability. There's a lot of species, you know, out there, including reptiles and shit, that are literally just one sex. And I know there's at least a few species of lizards, and I think even a couple species of birds that are literally just all female, but they can still reproduce. How's that work? Well, I frankly don't necessarily know the science behind it, but it does. They're able to, you know, still reproduce and, you know, have a bunch of lesbian sex, so good on them. It looks like a bunch of life naturally evolved to be woke.
That's not a third gender. That's a genetic anomaly that occurs within the sex binary of male and female.
Okay, the whole idea of it being like some sort of third gender, like you just inferred there, Matt, is a social construct. You know, the fact that these biological anomalies, quote unquote, which, I mean, sure, can be, and in a way, maybe they are, it's like, just because, like, these anomalies or mutations or different things happen and shit, or different people, you know, develop differently and shit because of these things, does not mean that, like, we have to, you know, like, enforce a specific type of, you know, social norm, you know, because you feel comfortable with that more so than anybody else. Fuck you. We don't have to abide by some weird traditional norm of, like, socially what we have to abide by just because, like, there's quote-unquote anomalies. Even if they are, it's more beneficial to account and consider that. Like, because we do that when we look at other life and other animals and other creatures and flora and fauna that exist, because it happens there and we recognize that shit, so why can't the fuck we do that for ourselves? Because it happens to us too. We're not somehow uniquely different from this.
No, it's called intersex. No, if you understand the term intersex, you would understand how it would necessarily not fit within the binary of male and female. There's what the term okay.
This guy's breaking his brain. Oh, hey, is Matt Walsh getting flustered? Oh, someone getting flustered, you little bitch. Oh, does someone need a Chalky Baba?
What we're saying is that a quote-unquote trans woman is a female.
Yes.
By the definitions I'm familiar with, yes.
So.
He's like, what? Damn, I never got a rebuttal that smart and fucking, you know, pointed to the point. Damn.
We define female.
Through my training in healthcare, there are...
I mean, I love how there's some harpy bitch just being like, freedom! You hear it? Well, I'll go back a little bit.
Through my...
So how would you define female?
Hear it?
Through my...
It's just like, what fucking harpy bitch is yelling in the background? It's like, it's like, hey, if you don't have the mic, maybe you're not the one who should be talking, whoever the fuck is in the background. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I mean, like, goddamn, I know you love your fucking little weird soy boy bitch, you know, little cuck, you know, fucking Matt Walsh over there, you weird bitch, but, like, I mean, no one cares. You weird ethereal voice in the background of the video.
In healthcare.
Look at his blockhead. I bet if you shave him, you'll look like a... there'll be a spot to stick a Lego. Dude, I bet. Dude, there would be. And I would stick, like, a life-size little Lego bit, just, like, right on his head, too. It's like, you know, like, you know what? Is that what's under Tim Pool's head? Is like a little Lego piece? Like a little spot to stick a Lego? Dude, if TJ ever truly does get a chance to talk with Tim Pool on his podcast, I really want him to take that fucking beanie off, because I want to see if it's like another mouth. You know, I want to see if it's like a little Lego stud. I want to see what the fuck it is, man. We need to know. We have a right to know. If I was his audience side, I have a hard time resisting urge control. So Matt, you said on Twitter you die to keep trans people having rights. When are you gonna go around? When are you getting around to that? Like, do you have any firearms? Because I mean, I feel like, you know, we need to, we need to, you know, get, you know, from your voice on how to train and to prepare. I mean, you know, can you, you know, make some videos sometime, you know, to show us how to prepare and, you know, prepare for the fight and to be ready and blah blah blah. Like, I mean, honestly, you gotta have to infer it a little bit to where it doesn't sound like, you know, you're just being like, so when are you gonna die? You know, you don't want to be like that. You want to be like, so, you know, when are we gonna get around to, like, you know, seeing videos, you know, to where you can help train, you know, when it comes to firearms, blah blah blah, like, and see if he fucking's like, you know, I'll get around to make some videos, because I do own a few firearms myself, and, you know, and I feel like maybe it's pointed to show some videos, you know, to show how do you defend yourself and blah blah. You wouldn't infer some stupid retarded shit like that, but let's see, you know, honestly, I want to see what this motherfucker, like, because honestly, dude, I want to see this little bitch boy soy fuck, you know, with a fucking AR-15, dude. Like, he would just be, like, jolting around, fucking, like, unable to aim like Kid Rock of his little MP5, you know, from the other night, like, with that little bitch. Like, oh my god, dude, I can't wait to go shooting this weekend, because, man, like, I've been meaning to make a fucking video, you know, of, you know, some time at the range, and now that it's, like, getting dark until, like, 8 p.m., like, I got all the daylight, you know, to do it. I just need a homie to fucking, like, you know, be my cameraman. My dad can't do it. I need to get somebody to come along with me, because, like, I mean, you know, I'm already pretty decent as it is, but I just, you know, I've always, you know, promised this. Like, every time I've done it, I'm like, I'm gonna record it and, you know, make a little vlog video of it or something, blah, 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 blah. And I never do it. So it's like, I need to actually just fucking do that already.
Several different categories for how we define sex. People bring up chromosomes. People also bring up...
She's doing a really good job, by the way, of holding...
She honestly is.
...frame. Not looking upset, not getting, like, angry or taking bait or whatever. Like Matt was clearly trying to get her to act up when Matt said, like, so you're a male. You know, like, obviously the point of that was
to be like, how dare you, you transphobic slime. Like, that was the idea that Matt Walsh was gonna get. He wanted, like, a triggered college lib. Like, that's what he wanted, but no. She's smart enough to know what he's doing. I mean, and honestly, maybe that's what she thinks, and at the end of the day, like, I mean, she's right, but, like, I mean, she's aware of who he is, and, you know, she's just going to go straight to the punch. She ain't gonna worry about, like, you know, getting worked up. You know, she was made for this. Like, she was trained to do this, you know what I'm saying? Like, she prepared. Like, I mean, you know, she got some notes, you know, she, like, you know, got, like, you know, like, the Sharpie on the hand, you know, with, like, a little bit of, like, some notes going on, just be like, you know, anyway, bitch, you know, just, like, just casually just laying it down. I mean, she's actually doing a pretty decent job all in all. It's like that, what was that, like, one kid who was a socialist that, like, you know, was doing that Steven Crowder changed my mind thing and fucking just obliterated Steven Crowder to the point that he didn't do those anymore? Like, I mean, who is that kid? It's like, I mean, she reminds me of that kid a little bit. Like, just comes out of nowhere, just popping the fuck off and just, like, you know, slaying. Just basically out of nowhere. Just, you know, keeping the head cool the entire time, just like, yeah, I just do this for a living.
But she's staying level in tone. Very good. Very controlled. Yeah. But her talking points are bad. So far, she hasn't said anything wrong.
Talking points are bad? Like, how? Like, it's... Okay, someone in his chat's an idiot.
Or rhetorically.
hormone levels. People bring up all sorts of other categories. Lots of people don't fit neatly into a gender binary, even people we don't consider to be intersex. It's a complicated spectrum.
You know, one of the
that's true. Yeah, that's pretty much like how the consensus is. If you have a brain and actually understand like spectrum of like human psychology and like physiology and stuff, like yeah, pretty true.
effective talking points to this would be if you have XY people with complete androgen insensitivity. So in the most extreme cases of androgen insensitivity, a person's body just does not respond to the masculinizing hormones that their body hits them with. And for that reason, they essentially just turn out female, which is kind of like the body's default,
I guess, I mean, in a way, that's kind of where femboys, exist, essentially. I mean, because honestly, I'm just being blunt. I'm just using that example because there's a lot of them that basically sound like what he's describing. Like, they never really got any of the, like the hormones, never really, emasculized because, what he was talking about. So they just look super hyper feminine, and, well, obviously they're okay with that, because they're, well, femboys. And, and just play on with that. And it's just like, yeah, I could kind of see where the whole, trap meme came from. Because, goddamn. There's been a few times even I've been like, oh, damn, girl. Oh, wait, you're not a girl. Well, I don't care. It's like, all right, I'm okay with this.
It's more complicated than that, but basically, female unless specified otherwise. Here, look, really interesting stuff. At the far side of androgen insensitivity, complete androgen insensitivity syndrome, or CAIS, where testosterone has no effect on sex development, so the genitals are completely female. That's pretty wacky.
Huh.
I guess the real question is, especially in the context of intersex people.
Okay, maybe not.
Where do you actually draw the lines, right? Because the chromosomes that we have dictate the hormone washes that mold our bodies. Fetuses aren't male or female from day one of inception. There's a point where a blob of, they're not stem cells, you know what I mean, developmental cells.
They're just cells.
Make choices about which way to develop in a sex-based sense. And that's, dictated by a lot of stuff, but largely hormone washes in the womb, later on in puberty. So, if you would have...
a lot of it also is because there's kind of like a switch that genes have. And when it comes to a lot of cells, as they develop, especially when they're in the phase, of in the womb, and well before the sex cells and the sex genes start, kind of developing at this point, before that process, a lot of these genes, will turn on and insert in a lot of different cells depending on how they develop and shit. And, and thus, that information gets traveled with the rest of the cells, as they develop, and basically, those, genes will switch on, but, there's specific cells that are developing, those things in the gene. So, when your organs and your eyes get developed, there's genes and certain things and switches that basically turn on, essentially, that, that says, develop these now, basically. And, and that's essentially is kind of a part of the process. A lot of it is, essentially the activation of a lot of, genes within the cells, in the developmental period, because these cells are, well, as, built and, and are produced essentially strictly to do those things. They're, like it says, they're not like stem cells, but, they're somewhat equivocal.
Who was XY, but
not
in
entirely,
literally
though.
Every other sense was biologically female. Everything could reproduce. The likes. Would you say that person is male? If a person, in every imaginable sense, a biological female with every associated faculty, ability, whatever, big bright titties or whatever, but they had a Y chromosome. Does that do it? My argument has always been, and I've never gotten the chance to ask this of a conservative, which really bothers me. My argument has always been, why moist? Because they're they're full of milk. I don't know. Paint in the picture yourself. It's full of milk, you idiot.
What the fuck?
My belief has always been that if you talk to a conservative about this, and you're like, okay, well, what if we had a machine that did this? If it swapped all their things, but they still had these. I think that it's chromosomes. And then if you bring up chromosomal abnormalities, they're like, okay, well, those are exceptions. And then you can be like, well, are trans people an exception? Then they're like, no, that's a different kind of exception. And then you loop forever. But if you asked a conservative, what if there was a machine that could swap the sex of your body perfectly, including your chromosomes? Would that person then just be female? Like if I did that and I had the big booba or whatever, but I still had my brain, my thoughts, whatever. Would that make me female? And I think
I would say yes. I mean, I don't think it would have to go to such lengths to do that, to be such, but yeah. But he's basically saying if we have basically like transhumanism and you can literally like, shape your body into whatever the fuck you want, including like, like changing your sex organs and your biology, kind of perfectly to what you want in that way, including even genetically to an extent. With like, gene, like, switchal therapy or whatever the fuck it would be called, I guess. Like, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like, I mean, would literally be changing not just your biological sex, but like your genetics of that as well. And thus, I mean, at that point, I mean, depending if you're female or male at birth, then you wouldn't be that anymore once literally the genetics of that changed. I mean, it's like, I know at least in the development phase, like when it comes to like in the womb, I know we're kind of able to do that a little bit, but it's like at a very like nascent experimental stage, because like you can't really like change one gene and just be, like, oh, we're good. Like, if you change one gene, that has an impact of, like, 10 other genes, when it comes to, like, the human genome for an individual. So it's like, if you change one gene, you also have to account for all these other genes, and if you switch those genes, which you're going to have to some extent or another, then those are going to account for other genes that you have to, so you have to literally do, like, an entire, like, slight adjustment to the entire genome of somebody, to some extent, in order for something like that to work. And to do that to an ability to where it minimalizes effects and changes elsewhere, like I don't know, how far we are with that yet, because in order to really totally change like a certain element of, someone's, genome, you would have to just really to change the whole thing. I mean, so at least right now, from what I've understand of, of like, or, advancement on that type of tech. I mean, but give it time. I feel like there can be at least an element to where we'll eventually get to a point where we can like switch only a few genes, maybe slightly adjust the ones that it will affect, but don't have to go farther than that, because like it does play a major factor. Because if you switch that one gene and don't do anything else with it, then it fucks up everything. Like, it's not good. So it's a very meticulous, very like hyper like intricate process where you have to be very just very careful, very meticulous with.
What they believe is that there are male and female souls. That's what I believe. I think that conservatives believe that there are souls for men and souls for women, even though this is theologically indefensible. As far as I am aware, there is literally nothing in the Bible or whatever else to suggest that the immortal soul of a human is like sex biology determined. But I obviously I don't believe in souls anyway, but why wouldn't you think souls are well, they think that gender and sex are the same thing, or at least they pretend to think that. So their argument would have to be that the immortal soul given unto humanity by God has sex characteristics from biology. Biology is an earthly, mortal, meat-based thing. So to argue that the immortal divine soul...
Meat-based thing? God damn it, is descriptions of this.
...a human is in any way, like coded by chromosomes or genitalia, like it's theologically indefensible.
I mean, honestly, I don't know about that 100%, mainly just because like the whole idea is that God saw you before you even conceived of in the womb, so thus like your soul already basically had like the life before it had the life, in a weird way. If that even makes fucking sense. Like, because, well, theology, especially when it comes to Christianity, is just fucking ridiculous. But at least all things in consider with that, then by proxy, that means then if God's seen you, you know, like your entire life before you even conceived of the womb, you know, and of your death and shit, then he basically, for one, already knows what you're going to be doing in your entire life, and for two, knows what sex / gender you're going to be. So by that logic, then your soul, you know, essentially, with, you know, the Christian idea of it at least, you know, will have that same sex / gender, essentially. So, I mean, I guess, you know, like, at least I don't necessarily think it's entirely indefensible theologically, at least, you know, like Vosh is saying. But, I mean, you know, like, maybe that's just the anti-theism in him talking, because he's openly lately been like, I am anti-theistic, like, I don't give a fuck, like, I don't care, I think, you know, religion broadly is bad. You know, like, he's pretty much, like, across the board openly, like, yes, I'm anti-theistic, and right now, Christianity, especially in America, is bad, and I'm focusing with that, but fuck religion across the board, I don't give a shit. Like, he's pretty much on that front, and I'm pretty much the same way, you know, so, but, you know, but even then, I feel like, you know, he's, you know, getting a little ahead of himself with that one. You know, I guess it's just only a nitpick, really. Mainly just because, like, you know, I think there is at least a defense that, you know, Christians mainly will make with it, because, like, they always, you know, use the argument about, like, oh, God saw you before you even were conceived of in the womb, and blah, 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 and all that malarkey. So, with that logic in mind, you know, obviously, you know, outside of the whole free will / determinism philosophical argument, there's this, and by that logic, I mean, you know, your soul would basically be, you know, a man or a woman, depending on what your life would be, essentially, and how you're, you know, what you're conceived of biologically as. So, I mean, I guess it is defensible, at least in a Christian perspective, at least in a very literal sense in that way, but, I mean, like, I would honestly like to see Vosh talk to a Christian fundamentalist. Like, he hasn't really done many debates lately. Like, he's had, like, some conversations with some people and shit, but not, like, a full-on fucking, like, debate with, like, a conservative or something. It's like, Vosh, start doing that again. Like, you know, if, like, you were just saying earlier, it's like, man, I feel bad I haven't been able to have this, like, you know, ability to ask this question and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, fucking, like, try to hit a conservative up or something. I guess they're all, is it because conservatives are all pussies? Like, is there no conservative that wants to, like, you know, hit him up or something because they realize, like, Vosh is, like, a hyper-logic lord? And knows how to fucking roast their shit. Because even Vosh has speculated about that, not to derail it too much, but, like even Vosh has mentioned, like, yeah, like, I mean, conservatives don't, like, actively hit me up anymore, because, like, they've seen enough debates and conversations, blah, 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 that I've had, and arguments that I've had, and, you know, with far-right conservatives, and even outright Nazis and shit, and they realize that I've gotten good enough to the point where it's like, yeah, you're more of a detriment if I try to debate you more so than not. And I think that might honestly be it. I mean, because, like, you know, like, I mean, say what you want about Vosh. I mean, he's definitely really eloquent and knows how to very, like, you know, like, cohesively and, you know, at least, you know, somewhat simple, but albeit maybe somewhat of a lengthy way, you know, occasionally being able to at least, you know, like, lay his point out and make it understandable. God would never have made trans people. It's not the author of confusion, really. Then what's this then? A platypus, the only poisonous mammal that lays eggs. That also has a duck bill and shit. It is cute. I mean, platypuses are adorable, though. They're cute and they're adorable, but yeah, it is the most confusing fucking creature that has ever existed. It's like, what truly are you meant to be? Like, it's like, it's a mammal, but it, frankly, you know, acts more like a marsupial. It lays eggs like a reptile or a bird, and it's like, what the fuck are you? It's like, what are you, platypus? I mean, you're adorable and you're cute, and I respect you and I love you. I mean, just don't hit me if you're fucking poison barb shit. But like, I mean, like seriously, like, what the fuck? What's going on here?
I think that's what they think, you know?
It's not complicated, but you also didn't define. So what is a woman? What is a female? What do these words mean?
It's complicated, and I know you're not going to like that answer, but that's because...
Of course, Matt's like, ugh. When she's like, it's complicated, because it is. It is, Matt. Because guess what, broadly, yeah, it can be... And also, it's not just, a woman is not necessarily just inherently an adult female, woman. Like, I mean, it's just... oh my...
are no simple answers in human biology.
Let me ask you a question.
You guys, hang on. Just let me finish. You guys...
Having to answer it's complicated here is obviously not very rhetorically effective, because conservatives are kind of primed for it. They're kind of primed.
I mean, it is. If she wasn't, got like the fucking Giga Chad steel of epicness, just to just hold the line with. Matt would have just rolled right over her there for a second. Because he almost did. He almost got a word in edgewise for a second, but she's like, no, let me finish this. Like how she's verbally holding his hand in response. I know it's difficult for you, Matt. Yeah, really. Honestly, it's kind of how she's doing it. It's like I have to handhold you because you're a fucking kindergartner, when it comes to the fucking level of intellect that you have with this, you fucking schmuck. You fascistic, terroristic son of a bitch. Like I said, I would laugh at his fucking ass and, make more of a mockery, I guess, and be more amused with it if he wasn't such a violent, dangerous fuck.
To hear, okay, well, let's get an answer from you. Because the strength of the conservative argument has always been the casual simplicity of saying, well, it's adult human female. Now, that answer is actually bullshit if you think about it for 2 seconds. Adult, what? 17 years old, 364 days, not woman, 365, yes, woman? You become a woman 2 years earlier in England? How does that work? Biologically, do you have, two people of the same age who are both female, but one's a woman, one's not, because of the tree that they're from? Because their argument is that this is a biological phenomenon, which means if they start deferring to social standards, then they're kind of in trouble. So that one doesn't work. Human doesn't work because everyone refers to non-human women as women. No conservative has ever been watching Lord of the Rings and gone oh, Galadriel? Oh yeah, that's a female, they say woman, well, they will also say female elf, but they say woman. Nobody has an issue with saying woman about non-humans. Not in fantasy. They say it about boats. The idea that people do this, oh yeah, we're very strictly adherent to humans when it comes to gender role assignments is total bullshit. And then as for female, obviously that's kind of what they're getting at here. What it means to be female is actually really complicated. American Scientific has talked about the ambiguity of sex, how it's not a binary. But those answers don't really play well in this environment because complexity is seen as weakness. It's seen as you're being conciliatory or you're being evasive,
At least to a fascist. Anyone with a brain will understand that, oh, yeah, this is a little bit more complex than maybe I thought.
To bring up high school level biology classes a lot. I get that a lot. But people who go on to more complicated biology classes will talk about sex as a spectrum.
It's not.
It literally is. Sex is. Biologically and, when it comes to just sexuality, it literally is. The fact that there's, intersex people, thus, makes it so. The fact that there's, different genetical factors and, environmental factors that might play a role, that, one way or another might, oh my god, he closed himself in the laundry room. Jesus Christ, that damn dog. But, there's a lot of different factors that make it spectral. And then sexuality in itself, that should be very self-explanatory.
Well, biological researchers would disagree with you.
Well, then they're full of shit, the ones that would say that.
Oh, wait, so the entire consensus of science? Oh, well, I wonder where I've heard that from. Oh, yeah, all this science is bullshit because, they espouse a certain agenda. I wonder where I've heard that from. Look at these fucking harpies all like, this is like, dude, are these just like a bunch of Bill Maher fucking watchers or something? Like, this is like the same fucking like energy that I get out of like Bill Maher's audience whenever he makes like a fucking lame dumb fuck, you know, like telegraphic point or some shit, or like it's just like ugh, or teleprop point. She only fucking studied and I know when normally throw it out college is automatic win, but in your case, 4chan doesn't count as research. Yeah, I literally don't. I mean, honestly, anyone that would consider 4chan research outside of like a commentary on 4chan itself, I mean, is, you know, a little silly.
And this is, of course, A, why it's difficult to talk in this environment, and B, evidence the fact that science isn't actually what they're after here, you know? The reason why they talk about first grade science textbooks is because they're fully aware of the fact that actual scientists disagree with them. The real arguments are inherent and intrinsic and essentialist. They don't actually think science agrees with them. If they did, then they wouldn't have spent the past forever arguing against the results of scientists and doctors, like in all research done on any of these subjects, you know?
Especially if they happen to be, you know, historically maybe Jewish, or maybe in contemporary sense, you know, happen to be, you know, accepting of trans and the liberal agenda. It may be Jewish. Because that shit's, like, basically, you know, kind of, like, back and alive and well again. Thanks, Kanye, you fucking freak, you psycho.
Alright.
There are male gametes and female gametes. Oh, I had one last question.
There are male gametes, female gametes, and one last question though. Anyway, so you want to ask me the other one question? Like, what a quick random little fucking divergence. Like, what? Did you just realize that you were about to fucking like, you know, eat your own words there for a second there, Matt? Like, yeah, there's these things because like, you know, before that they don't really develop that way yet. Because and then you realize, like. Did you realize you're about to just, like, you know, fall over your own argument there, you fuck? And then you decide to divert away, you son of a bitch?
So I have one quick, can you come back for 1 second? Because this is an important question. You said you're an EMT.
Yes.
Okay, if you're responding to a health emergency. Biological male, somebody with a penis, is having a medical emergency. And they say to you, I think I'm having...
Aren't there literally some? I don't know if there are. I don't think there are any.
Seals clap at anything. Well, I just shit my diaper. The audience is like, woo! They totally would be like that.
Hermaphrodites who can produce both gametes. I think there's like, you can semi-produce both or one and part of the other, but I don't think you can do all of both.
Dude, I know, man. Dude, the fact that Matt's like, so it's like you're an EMT, so you respond to a scenario, and the person is a biological male with a penis. It's like, dude, fucking like what is this weird emphasis and creepy shit, dude? I mean, he's already basically kind of like intentionally admitted he's a fucking pedophile and shit anyway. So it's like, I mean, you know, it doesn't, you know, shock me that he's this fucking weird, you know, when it comes to like genitalia and fucking like sex and shit like that, because the dude's a fucking psychopathic, sociopathic creep. I mean, it's like, I really feel bad for his fucking daughters, because they probably got a really horrible, abusive upbringing.
There are? Really? All of
and
those?
A very exploitative
Some
one.
intersex people have both testes and ovaries. You may be able to get pregnant on your own if you also have a uterus. However, if you have testes, they may be releasing more testosterone than would be optimal for conception and pregnancy. Oh, okay. Oh, so there are humans who produce both. It's just that if you have a fat right pair of balls, it
essentially makes, you know, like, essentially, like, one or the other is sterile. Like, for a lot of people who are intersex, like, when it comes to having basically both gamey/sex organs and, you know, and all that shit, like, depending on, like, what gets developed more, basically, like, that's essentially the one that's, like, fertile and can be produced with and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's not like the other one doesn't work, but it's the one that's essentially more, you know, sterile. And it's the one that's not, like, going to be, you know, as, you know, produced and shit. So it's, like, for some intersex people, it's like, you know, their, you know, female sex organs, you know, are developed more, so they're more likely to, you know, have pregnancies. And you know, and not likely to get others pregnant. But, you know, there's a lot of people who are intersex that, you know, their dick and balls decide to produce a little bit more. So, you know, they're able to get others pregnant far more often, but are less likely to get pregnant, you know, despite having both. I mean, it's not like, you know, it doesn't make them unsterile, but, you know, like, entirely. But it's definitely more complex than that, because there's definitely people that, you know, have both, but are also sterile, you know, with both sex organs. So it's complex and it does vary. It just kind of depends on how those, you know, gametes and those genes, you know, those specific, you know, markers, you know, within the genes and chromosomes and stuff, you know, tick, and different environmental factors and all the other shit.
Floods your body with too
Docking
much.
to face down with a Canadian MC. You're face down with a Canadian? Were you just here earlier? Now you're just like, hey, what's up? Oh, by the way, I wasn't here earlier. Don't. You know, that was my doppelganger.
Or your uterus to work properly.
Oh, that poor
makes
dog. Hold
sense.
on.
Wacky world we live in.
Popo, you locked yourself in the
miscarriage.
laundry room. You silly
Wait, what?
boy.
Would you check them to see if that is having a medical emergency? And they say to you, I think I'm having a miscarriage. Would you check them to see if they're having a miscarriage? Would you consider that a possibility for them?
What if they also have a uterus in the womb? I mean, like, what if this person who happenstance in your dumb fuck hypothetical, you fascist Nazi scumbag parasite subhuman trash, Matt Walsh, I just burped from my nose and I burnt a lot. That hurt a little bit. Goddamn. But, like, even with your hypothetical, like, somebody can be technically biologically male, but more broadly and more accurately would be intersex, I guess, in this case. But it would say, hey, I'm having, you know, potentially a miscarriage and shit. And, like, you know, it's just like, dude, like, even with his stupid fucking hypothetical, like, if you actually, you know, take with real science into account and real, you know, biology into account, yeah, and there's also pregnant trans men, too. Like, again, yeah. I mean, there's other variables that could probably be applied where, yeah, there could still be a dick and balls, or maybe even, you know, like, biological male, you know, like, you know, factors, you know, that are at play. I mean, like, look at Butch Angel, for example. Well, I guess trans man, but still got a vagina. But, you know, it's like that. I mean, yeah, it doesn't necessarily got a dick or whatever the fuck, but still, I mean, you got, like, I mean, honestly, you know, like, from our sin, Buck Angel's also kind of a conservative, weird kind of whack-a-mole anyway. It's not exactly a great guy. But nonetheless, I mean, at least for example's sake, I mean, it's like, you got a dude who looks like a fucking, like, trucker, or, like, you know, somebody who looks like it's, like, you know, in a Judas Priest cover band, you know, or some shit. Like, he looks like one of those dudes, but, I mean, you know, don't got a dick. He's got some pussy going on there.
So, right off the bat, this is a profoundly retarded question.
It literally is probably the most retarded question.
They were talking about what it means to be female, and his long-winded response, this hypothetical, is, what if you as an EMT showed up and somebody had big cock and balls, but they said they were having a miscarriage? What would you do? What the does that have to do with what we were talking about?
I mean, no shit.
Like, in any way,
Like, honestly, why does anyone have to think about that?
shape, or like what?
Now it just made me realize, why did I even have to, like, you know, break any of that down there for a minute? Like, what? Oh my god, dude! Oh my god, this is what Matt Walsh does, the motherfucker. Okay, I was about to let intrusive thought come out, but I don't think it was going to be appropriate, at least for YouTube.
Significance. Just remove the ball instantly. I would simply remove the balls. Yes, I'd grab the balls and twist.
No, but that's because some people don't have body parts.
See, they think this is an like, they literally think the argument of this person is that
Yeah, like, now they're all fucking sharing because they think she got owned. No Robloxing. Oh, like, I could go into some detail about how I'd Roblox a motherfucker like Matt Walsh, but don't get me started. I mean, let's just say that I'd be on the grassy knoll.
everyone can have miscarriages no matter what. And if a person can't have a miscarriage because they don't have the parts for it, then that means trans people aren't real. Like, they don't know. They don't understand. They have no clue. I think... So I don't blame her for biting the bait here, because the purpose of this was like retard question gets retard audience to do retard applause, obviously. I don't blame her for that. I think the best thing she could have done in this would have been...
retard question gets, like... oh, wait, hold on. How did he even just say that again?
Here, because the purpose of this was like retard question gets retard audience to do retard applause, obviously.
Oh my god.
Blame her for that. I think the best thing she could have done in this would have been to ask clarifying questions that would have made it clear how dumb the question was. So she could have asked, so how do I know they have a penis and ball? Like, okay, so they're saying they have a miscarriage, but they have like no extra, they just have a penis and balls. It's like, and then you could, rather than answering directly, because again, like any yes, no, or what would I do would get applause from the audience. You could just be like, you could just say like, well, what would lead me to believe they weren't just one of them?
Pay Bubba to do a reenactment of a Minecraft fail video of Matt Walsh and Roblox. The Bubba that, was in The Soul Robert, my uncle, before it passed. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of miss this weird little, like, I kind of miss Robert's alter ego Bubba. It's... There's a few times, like, on the streams, and shit, man. What, no? Dude, I guarantee you it's the same Bubba. Like, he just, like, dude, Bubba transcends, just, like, the Bubba. Because Bubba's Bubba.
People I deal with in my job who are incorrect about what their body's doing. I think that'd be almost perfect. Maybe that's not the perfect phrasing, but I think that's the exact right thing to say. Like, oh, what about... So, like, people mistake medical problems to me, like, literally...
Never heard him called Bubba? Because you never seen his alter ego Bubba. Dude, Robert's alter ego Bubba it was something else, man. There's at least a few streams, from years back that, he went into Bubba mode. So... There's at least, some, etchlings of the Bubba out there.
So what would I be...
At least Robert's
Bubba.
Bubba.
The point of this, exactly. And then Matt would have... Like, the audience wouldn't applaud to that.
But Robert's Bubba would do exactly that, though. We would do a reenactment, and, of the Minecraft fail video with Matt Walsh and Roblox. He would do the whole thing. Like, I mean, Robert's Bubba, yeah, he would do that thing. He was a total degenerate. Like, he would hate Matt Walsh.
Go like, well, that proves transgenderism. Not real. Wrong.
Yeah, that's basically like, the stereotypical, like, fucking, like, big cocked black guy in prison that, just dominates every fucking, like, tiny little, like, twink in prison. Like, that's basically, like, yeah, that's the stereotypical Bubba that everyone kind of knows about, but, I mean, again, like, that kind of, like, broadly, like, what Bubba represents is kind of transcended beyond that. At least in my mind, considering the Bubba that I also had to experience myself, personally. Yeah. But I guess you had to be there to really, truly understand, I guess.
But I don't blame her. I'm obviously sitting in my computer chair, and she's right up there, so I don't blame her for not, yeah.
Doesn't mean they're not a woman.
Okay. Sounds like we've established there are some people who, in principle, can get pregnant, and there are some people who can't.
Again, like, this is the level you're operating at in these conversations. Like this is still where they're at. What I know, it seems incoherent, but the conservatives constantly reframe all pro-trans arguments as trans people and trans allies don't understand what biological sex is. When
even though they literally do. And basically, they have to just, like, frame everything, into this, like, weird idea that, like, oh, no, they just don't understand biology and nothing else, even though we do, even though we actually don't understand a fucking lick of anything. And also, why does Matt Walsh look like a fucking alien? Like, dude, like, his, like, forehead's too fucking big, his beard looks fucking fake, I want to, like, take a Bowie knife and shave that shit off anyway as it is. Like, his, like, fucking lips look like something that you see off of, like, fucking, like, groper fish or some shit. Like, I mean, like, this fucking, he looks like a goddamn alien, dude. I want to do some, like, fucking, like, you know, medical experiments to see what, like, fucking, like, you know, origin this fucking creature has, dude.
And he disagreed with people whose job it is to understand what sex is. Yeah, you can't move this past a kindergarten level of conversation because the man's job depends on him not understanding beyond a kindergarten level.
There's two categories, otherwise known as binary.
Lots of women can't get pregnant either.
Yeah, but they're still of the nature to get pregnant.
No, they're not. If they can't get pregnant, because there's plenty of women that can't get pregnant, then they're not in the nature of being able to get pregnant, you fucking absolute homunculus fucking retard. Like, are you serious? Like, I mean, wow, just, like, refer to Vash's literal initial point before you play that again. Like, literally just, like, not understanding the fucking thing, dude. Has to dumb down his speeches for? Yeah, basically.
Lately from conservatives, where they are basically openly admitting that there's nothing biological behind their argument, and they're going back to, like, conceptual essentialism. Haven't you seen this on Twitter, where there are, like, conservatives who are like, what is a female? A female is a person with the purpose to produce eggs. What the f is that? What is biological purpose? What the f does that mean? The real, like, the truth of this is that this
biological purpose, that idea is also pretty comical.
Nazi shit.
It is kind of Nazi shit.
The term purpose here is because he's doing this, like, hyper-essentialist, like it is the woman's role to be barefoot and pregnant, and also in his mind probably 14.
More like 12.
But that's not biology at all. This is the difference between, like, a prescriptive and a descriptive claim. Purpose is not... Nature doesn't have purpose. There's no purpose to nature. That's not how it works. Natural selection...
Nature just is.
Doesn't have a purpose. It just happens in accordance with principles that exist. That's not a purpose. It's like saying that the purpose of a marble you drop in a pachinko machine is to end up in one of the slots at the end. It's not. It just follows gravity. There's no purpose to it.
The only
But
reason...
they can't get pregnant.
Yes, but
Truth matters, right?
It does. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Good.
That's what she's trying to explain to you, you fucking...
Good rebuttal from her. Or good with the truth matter. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Truth matters, and they can't get pregnant. That's the truth. So how are they still women?
Because they...
Really good. Really, really good from her. Yeah. You have to be aggressive
honestly.
and sort of...
Answer it, Matt.
For the same reason that I can rightly say that human beings have two legs, and
oh my god, you fucking mongoloid son of a bitch. Yeah, hey, guess what? There are a lot of human beings that don't have two legs, you idiot. Like, I mean, people who were not born, you know, with legs because of, you know, various genetical factors, people who are amputees, or even double amputees, like, I mean, you fuck. You actual fuck. And then obviously you got the third leg.
if a person is born with only one leg, that doesn't call into question the statement that human beings have two legs. Okay?
Oh my god. Oh my, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, hey, Matt, guess what? Just because, like, quote, naturally and normally, like, you know, like, humans have two legs because we've evolved and adapted to have that, as literally most fucking animals do. Like, I mean, there's the whole 4 legs / 3 legs thing, or 2 legs, oh my god, the 3 legs / 2 legs thing, or 4 legs, 2 legs, Jesus Christ. Anyway, you know what I meant. Like, you know, because you got, like, you know, animals that, you know, are digitigrade and, you know, like, walking all 4s or whatever, and got, by proxy, 4 legs and shit. And then you got, like, humans who are bipedal and don't. You know, and there's also a lot of animals that, even then, that got 4 legs that can walk on 2 legs. So, but, like, and even then, it's just like, there are also humans that have, you know, that can get various different genetic mutations and formations where they might have 1 or maybe even no legs, or maybe even 3, or even 4. You know, like, honestly, because, like, you know, there's some sort of genetical glitch or some shit with their genes to where it's like, oh, we gotta develop an extra pair or something. I mean, like, there's various different things like that. Like, a pretty common genetic mutation that actually happens pretty often for a lot of people is polydactylism, where it's like you have more than 10 digits, you know? So, like, a lot of people might have, like, you know, well, not a lot of people, but there are people out there that, you know, have, like, an extra digit or even two, you know, maybe even three sometimes, you know? Like, I mean, usually polydactylism is one extra digit, but sometimes it might be more than that. I mean... I mean, there's all sorts of various different fucking things that are utterly outside the fucking quote-unquote binary or the norm of what, like, human biology, you know, normally is adapted to. But just, you know, considering that logic, though, we consider all those other different mutations and others, you know, slight adaptations and other different things. We consider that shit when it comes to biology there, Matt. So even again, with that fucking logic that you're using again there, you fuckface, then, you know, overall, then by that point, like, how are, like, trans people or intersex people broadly and shit not a part of these factors? Because they are. And that's a part of biology. You fuck. It's like, ugh. This bioessentialist shit is just so absurd to me. It's just, like, so draconian and just so pseudoscientific that it just is ridiculous, man. It makes my goddamn head spin. Like, there is, like, so little, like, merit to the idea of, like, bioessentialism and shit. It's like, yeah, there are, like, you know, the foundations of how, like, broadly, outside of, like, humans, of how biology works and shit, but even then, that's just how our understanding is on this planet. Like, biology and, like, everywhere else, you know, in this fucking galaxy, in this fucking universe, is probably gonna work in totally different ways, and we just don't know that. You know, it probably even beyond our comprehension to an extent. It's like, so, like, it's all this type of shit is just based off of our fucking understanding about how things work. And even then, we don't have the full picture, and that's fine. Like, the idea that, like, you know, life and biology and genetics, all of it's super hyper complex and complicated. There, Matt, you fucking kindergarten level fuck. It's like, huh, wow, it's so weird. It's like, it's as if, you know, things like, you know, biology, humanity, and, like, you know, like, the universe itself, you know, physics, like, all these things are complex as fuck. Like, I mean, give me a break, you son of a bitch. Ugh. If he wasn't such a dangerous, like, overtly sarcastic terrorist motherfucker, like, oh my god, I would see him far more as a joke, but he's just more of a dangerous threat than anything else. And, man, the things I can do to this son of a bitch, I can't.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
Man, and honestly, the fact that DFF announced they're doing a Matt Walsh gauntlet at the end of this fucking month, oh my god, I don't even know if I can take that. I don't even know if I can handle that. I don't know if I can handle 6 hours of fucking Matt Walsh. I don't even know if I can partake in that. I love you, Deep Fat Fry. I love you, you know, Pessimist Productions, but I don't know if I can do the full 6 hours. I'm gonna handle that in doses.
Then, definitionally, a person with one leg wouldn't be human. You would say humans generally have 2 legs. This is why definitions are complicated. Yeah, he's literally saying, like, okay, well, I make this claim about what humans are biologically. Some humans aren't like that biologically, but they're still humans. So what about trans people?
No shit!
That's her argument! Yeah, okay. Typically, you know, people who are women have wombs, ovums, big milkers, whatever, you know. But that doesn't mean that people who aren't women. Okay? A trans ally, Matt Walsh. Do you think Matt would ever debate you? No, zero chance. Literally no chance. Matt won't, and Michael Knowles won't. There's no shot, none at all. The only debates that people like this want to have are either with college students in an environment where they're incapable of losing, though Matt is doing his best here, or they want to talk with, like, civility-brained academics with no rhetorical training. The kind of Matt would love to talk to, like, a like policy researcher or a person who does, like, advocacy without doing speeches or direct, like, combative debates or whatever, because he could just talk all over them and all their knowledge would be for nothing. They will...
It'd basically be like, you know, someone who's, like, working behind the scenes that usually would probably work with someone who's charismatic, but wants to work with someone who's, like, you know, in the background because they're not trained in that. It's a very easy tactic. It's like those type of people, they're, you know, it's not like they're not, like, informed about these type of things. They are, but they're not, like, trained, you know, or at least experienced in dealing with things like this. I mean, which, it's fine. I mean, there's plenty of people, you know, that, you know, are not experienced with this, and that's whatever. But, like, I mean, you know, when they, you know, like, at least they, and, you know, with people like Matt Walsh, you know, seek those people out, they're doing that very purposely, because they know that, you know, they don't actively, you know, go out of their way, really, to, you know, to have conversations, so to speak. So they, at least in their mind, they're thinking, oh, this would be a good opportunity, you know, to get a little, you know, coverage, and maybe, you know, get a little book that I'm writing or something out there, you know, or still something. You know, it's like, you know, they're not really thinking much of it, so then when they, you know, get jumped and ambushed by a motherfucker like Matt Walsh and shit, they're not ready for it at all. I mean, so it's like they either want that, or like some college kid that's, like, you know, learning it and, you know, in their classes, but, you know, probably aren't, you know, as, like, experienced to fit because, you know, they're a little too, like, you know, jumpy or, you know, get a little too flustered. But this chick, though, I mean, you know, she's like, you know, like 8 levels above all that. She transcends it. She's like, nah, like, I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm collected, I got my shit, and I know how to handle my shit, and I ain't gonna fucking play around.
The position. Didn't he do that?
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I am all out of bubblegum.
Yeah, because it's really easy. You guys realize most researchers, even if they're super knowledgeable in a subject, will roll over if you challenge them on anything, not because they're wrong, but because debate is hard. You could go up to some, like, super educated person and be like, hey, so can you, like, tell me about your research? And they'll be like, oh yeah, well, I did a 16-week study on the relationship between the development of the, and then Matt can just be
here
like,
to shoot
yeah,
ass
well,
and kick
would you agree
bubblegum.
there are people who could get pregnant?
Or bubblegum.
And they're like, yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's men and women, huh? and that's it. Like, that's literally, that's the level, like, this operates on, you know?
Okay, a person being born with one leg doesn't mean that now legs are on a spectrum, and we can't say...
Why not? Why not, Matt?
Say anything at all about how many legs a person has. Who knows? They could be a centipede. You know, they could have 100 legs.
Okay, no one's literally saying that. Oh my god, you fuck.
Maybe what you could say is that humans generally have 2 legs, but in very rare cases they have a different amount.
Yeah, because, like, every now and then there's genetic anomalies where they might have 1 or none, or maybe even 3, or maybe even rare occasions, maybe 4. That doesn't mean that they have just, like, fully developed 3 or 4 legs or whatever the fuck. That just means that you have, like, 2 little, like, stubby, like, you know, very undeveloped legs in comparison to your actual developed legs. You know, so it's like, I mean, that shit happens. I mean, like, it's not like it's, you know, common, but, you know, when it comes to, like, genetic rarities that, you know, happen from time to time with people, you know, that, you know, with genetic anomalies and mutations, like, it's one of the more common ones where it's like, oh, hey, you know, like, just a genetic switch, and, you know, that we're going to develop with, and we're going to, like, mutate and switch this up again. You know, it's like, and we're going to develop this, like, twice. It's like, that happens sometimes. Because, again, genetic mutations is just a common thing. What did he ever? Oh, Matt Walsh? Yeah, I mean, he never makes sense.
That, right? Because the statement, all humans have 2 legs, is objectively incorrect. Like, that, it's good for, like, a quick colloquial definition, right? Like, we say cats have a tail. Do all cats have a tail? No, of course not. But if we're getting into the nitty...
Might just be really stoned, but I don't know what it's talking about. Oh, well, we're roasting Matt Walsh.
Of specifics and definitions, you can go, okay, well, yeah.
Because, well, he's just a fucking idiot.
Most cats have a tail, but some cats don't have a tail. Some don't have it because genetically their breed doesn't have it, and some don't have it because they got it like lost in a fight or something. You know, that doesn't like destroy society to acknowledge that. That's just the complexity of definitions.
No, we know human beings have 2 legs. If a human is born without 2 legs, something went wrong. They were supposed to have.
So are they not a human?
Yeah, oh wait, some are wrong because it didn't have 2 legs. What does that mean then, Matt? Like, does that mean that there's genetic anomalies that happen? And sometimes, you know, shit differs, you know, from what is, you know, broadly the quote-unquote norm?
Like, so what's the argument that he's implicitly making but won't acknowledge is that then they're not a human being. But he can't say that, of course, because that would sound like really retarded.
Have that second leg, something went wrong. If you meet a person on the street who only has 1 leg,
Their soul has 2 legs. All human immortal souls have 2 legs.
maybe they had an accident, maybe they were in war, maybe something, you know, maybe they were in a car accident, maybe they had cancer, a leg was cut off, but you know that something
Or maybe a genetic anomaly happened?
went wrong because by their nature they're supposed to have 2 legs. Same thing for a woman. A woman by her nature can get pregnant. A man.
You know, if that's supposed to happen, then more chance it's supposed to be a gender they identify as. At least by his logic? But I guess at the same time, it would be like, well, they're supposed to identify with their biological sex because that's what, you know, because that's what Matt Walsh would fucking, you know, refer it to. Even though that would be wrong. Silly people of one leg shouldn't have rights because they aren't human. You know, like, I don't know if that's, like, what he's trying to infer, but I think maybe. Probably. It's Matt Walsh. He's a fascist, so likely.
By his nature, never can. So
again, this by this nature thing is gigacope. It is after years and years of Ben Shapiro types arguing about biological definitions, the theocratic fascist Matt Walsh is actually being more honest about what they believe. Obviously, what he's saying here is dishonest and incorrect, like even within its own definition, right? The idea that a human with 1 leg wouldn't be a human. However, the truth of the matter is that conservatives have always thought of men and women as distinct divine categories. It's a religious thing, or at the very least an essentialist one. It's not about biology. There's no rethreading of the biology of this trans woman that would make Matt Walsh admit that she's a woman, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised if he takes that position before giving up this meaningless argument. Probably.
You could have super ultra HRT that molds her bone shape and her body, her fat distribution, her facial structure, her voice, everything down to her chromosomes. And Matt would still not call her a woman. Because Matt ultimately thinks, even if she could get pregnant, because Matt ultimately thinks that being a woman is a divine essentialist category. And yes, it does harken back to Nazi fascist rhetoric, where under fascism...
I mean, I was referring to that for earlier a few times already, because it literally is.
A person lives...
There's a few times he's honestly been more openly implicit about that.
For the state, the nation, the
just in this alone,
blood, whatever. The idea was often held was that men and women had different roles to adhere to in order to serve the state in the Volk. But these weren't roles in the sense of like a job you do. To be clear, to the fascist, a role you have because you're a man or a woman is not like a responsibility you might have as a parent, you know? Like, that's the thing you should really do. If you're a parent, take care of your kids, whatever. But it's not the same as the role they're talking about. The role they're talking about is a divine and essentialist, empirical category.
It's literally like a mystical, like, moral obligation type of thing, basically.
A designation.
It's literally just like an overt cultural and indoctrinatory obligation of, like, you know, by divine, you need to do this in order to, like, you know, like, maximize the prosperity of you and your people and your culture and shit like that.
God,
it's literally like an overt Nazi thing.
The universe. That you are meant to do this specific thing. You understand what I mean? But this has always been what they believe. The biology thing is just a code.
Meet a woman of childbearing age, say she's 28 years old, and she can't get pregnant. You know automatically that something has gone wrong. And she can go to the doctor and find out what that thing is, even if they can't fix it.
How do you know maybe it's not on the, you know, male side of things? on that one. Oh, woman can't get pregnant. Maybe the dude that, she's trying to, get pregnant with, is sterile. Or, has a very low ability to, be fertile. It's not totally sterile, but just not very fertile at all. I mean, like, maybe that's the case. Maybe, there's literally just, like, some sort of environmental factor even. Maybe there could be some shit in the environment. Like, honestly, like, this is another thing that, motherfuckers like Matt Walsh will never consider. Is that, like, just because, like, yeah, you have, like, genetic predispositions and there's arbitrary factors of that and all that, like, I mean, at the end of the day, there's also environmental factors. And just because you have certain genetics or this and that or whatever the fuck, or how, and everything else in between, it's like there's also environmental factors that play a role. And depending on where you're at, especially if you're in an area that has, like, a lot of pollution and a lot of, like, contaminants in the water and this and that and everything else, like, that's going to play a role into, different elements about your broader biology, and that includes your sex organs too, whether you're a man or a woman or intersex or trans, or regardless of who the fuck you are at the end of the day, that shit's going to infect you. And because of things like that, like, that plays a role into, how, like, our bodies are affected. Like, and frankly, probably not in a positive way. And that could lead to elements like, higher rates of cancer, maybe, being infertile and being more sterile because of different things in the water and shit like that, or whatever the fuck. It's like there's different elements, that play a role that, can lead to why maybe, at least in this case, why a woman might not be able to get pregnant. Maybe there are environmental factors. It's like that could legit be the case. Maybe the environment she's in is, causing her to, have false pregnancies or some shit like that. Or miscarriages even. To where she can't necessarily totally get pregnant. And if she was in a different environment where, there wasn't those type of carcinogens and those toxic pollutants where that was causing those type of things, she probably would be able to get pregnant then, over time. Unless the damage has already been done. So it's just like, I mean, there's just even environmental factors that play a role into whether, like, being a man or woman, at least by fucking Matt Walsh's definition, like with his weird pseudoscientific mystical definition, it's like, even with that logic, it's like, I mean, are you going to consider environmental factors as to why, that could be, something that went wrong?
Oh. That proves
probably not.
That women by their nature can get pregnant, because the simple fact that she can't shows you that there is something wrong. This is what is known as the exception.
No, there isn't. There's nothing wrong with that.
That proves the rule. What?
Wait. What?
Proves that women by their nature can get pregnant, because the simple fact that she can't.
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah.
Shows you that there is something wrong. This is what is known as the exception that proves the rule.
What? No, what? That's making my head spin. Oh my god.
What?
What?
First of all, no.
It's no.
That is not what the exception that proves the rule means. The exception that proves the rule has always been a colloquial kind of, oh, well, look how rare this one example is. Therefore, like, you can understand that the other thing is the more likely thing to happen. Not something you would engage in with, like, ultra-specific definition terminology meandering. It's absolutely not. Second of all, the argument that he just made essentially is we have a social standard where we believe some people should get pregnant. Therefore, definitionally, we say something is wrong when they can't. You guys understand? So again...
Oh, I definitely do. The idea must fit neatly in every trade category assigned to you is the root of the law of fascist thought. It's actually written in element 1984. Yeah. It's honestly, like, kind of one of the more, like, bigger points in 1984, at least, from what I took from it.
I wonder what Matt Walsh would think of the fact that womb transplants are already happening. It's not going to be long now before we get the first highly publicized transgender woman giving birth after conception. And when that happens, we must acknowledge that if a transgender woman has had a womb implant but can't get pregnant, she would still go to the doctor and ask what's wrong. And the doc...
I mean, honestly, like, the day that, like, a trans woman can, like, fully conceive and get pregnant and give birth and shit would be based. Because that just means that we're just getting, that much closer to, fully transhumanism, which I'm broadly all for. And I feel like, on one level, like, people who are, like, amputees and stuff, especially with a lot of technology that's advancing with, like, different modifications and shit like that people get and stuff, when it comes to that, like, there's a lot of, transhumanism elements from there, like transgenderism, when it comes to, like, a lot of the research development and a lot of advancements that come from that, especially when it comes to things like womb transplants that, eventually are, going to be a little bit more widespread and stuff, and especially when it comes to the possibility of even, having full reproduction capabilities. I mean, all these things just lead us a lot more closer to transhumanism, which for me, I'm all down for. I want that shit. Like, I mean, I'm all down for, like, at least, the maximization of being able to kind of, like, legit self-actualize, at least when it comes to your identity, at least in this way. I mean, because why not? Like, why prohibit that? It's just on a pure libertarian level, but even then, it's just like, what if even for me, it's like, what if I want to change something up a little bit? Even if I do, feel comfortable and identify with, what I am, like, born and raised with, whatever, which for me personally, sure, but even then I don't really identify with, like, the general construct of it all. It's like, maybe I want to change some shit up a little bit. It's like, despite all that, because why not? Fuck it. Because, like, the world's your oyster as far as I'm concerned, so even, just on the logic of just, like, my own selfishness, I'm thinking, like, yeah, I'm comfortable with being a dude, identify that like that, I guess broadly, I don't really give a fuck one way or another, but, like, yeah, I'm comfortable this way, be comfortable one way or another, why not explore, some other elements about, what, that, could be possible. I mean, why not? I mean, because fuck it, seriously, why not? It's like, I mean, because I'd rather let it be kind of a pick and choose thing, because, let's say that, like, yeah, I want to explore, like, this element of things, and I'm like, alright, I'm cool with that, but now I want to switch back, or whatever the fuck. I mean, I feel like that should be okay, too, and I feel like we should be able to get to a level like that, where it's like, where people can explore whatever they want, even if it's even temporarily, even, whether it's, like, something that they just want to, like, sit down and be like, yep, this I identify with and want to stick with it, or if they're just, like, kind of a wanderer in that way, where they're like, yeah, I want to, kind of explore this, identity a little bit, but maybe I want to change it up a little bit later down the line. Why not? Like, I mean, I want to maximize, like, that type of shit, because I think that'd be cool. Like, honestly, I want the world to be more colorful that way. I mean, call me crazy, but I ain't the only one.
Would be responsible for finding out what, because the real thing the doctor is there to do is assess the well-being of the womb, not of the innate categorical womanhood of the patient. You all understand what I'm talking about? Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
Whereas if a male with a penis can't get pregnant, no doctor on earth is going to run tests to see what's wrong with him.
Unless, of course, they did have a functioning womb and uterus. Now, how many people
because, like, I know Vosh probably isn't going to mention it, but because, like, at least what I was mentioning from earlier, there could be environmental factors. Like, like, there could be a woman or just somebody in general that could have a functional womb and uterus and stuff, but due to environmental factors is kind of made him sterile, whether temporarily or otherwise. Like, I mean, that is, like, well, established that could be a possibility, for people. Like, I mean, like, there's literally, like, foods and different, like, stuff in people's diets that could even potentially make somebody fertile or more sterile, depending on what they're consuming. I mean, there's literally just, like, different things like that, play a role when it comes to our environment. It doesn't necessarily have to be just exposure to something. Could be even your diet.
Womb, uterus, and penis. Willing to bet probably not that many. But it's not impossible. And if we're talking about definitions, it's pretty important to work out these edge cases. Now, I don't have much in the way of negative words for this lady here, because, again, the
based.
environment that she's in makes it impossible to really win here, I don't think. But I think she did quite well. And what's more, I think in watching this, you can think, which kinds of arguments really stump people like Matt Walsh? Well, he got flustered when she said the truth matters. That was funny. It's a reminder that this man mostly does his work behind a desk and doesn't really have the charisma to respond to direct confrontation that well, especially not when he's expecting it.
Definitely
Additionally, he seems to struggle a lot with ambiguity. He relies on essentialist non-biological terminology to prove so-called biological truths while ignoring actual biological truths from doctors. You can see the weakness in the rhetoric here, right? Unfortunately, it's a weakness that's almost impossible to exploit when you get 20-second sound bites at most and the audience is primed against you. So, ideally you would really want to do this one-on-one.
Because they already know it's that he's a male, and there's only male and female, those who can get pregnant and those who can't.
That's literally not the... Oh my god. Can somebody take a sweet, fluffy, big old cloud and just brush it up against Matt Walsh's face? Very gently. Wink, wink. And Vosh have a in-person conversation, because he'd be annoyed that Vosh could be more of a potential douchebag if he wants to, and that's the only thing Matt Walsh has. I mean, yeah, pretty much. And honestly, I'd be all here for it. I would absolutely love the fuck out of that. That'd be great.
So,
dude, he would. Dude, Vosh would be the perfect person to shit on Matt.
Vosh define essentialist? It's a really broad term. But when I think of essentialist, I think of a kind of person who assigns definitions the way they are because they are the way they are. They're the kind of person who clumps up and groups together categories of being, of concept, and doesn't seem to care very much about the nuance or divergences between individual facets of that group. Obviously, things can be grouped for convenience's sake when we're talking about some concepts, but the thing is here, with regards to essentialism, what I'm really talking about here, it's not just essentialism in the sense of a lack of nuance when discussing definitions. What we're talking about essentialism here is Matt Walsh and conservatives believe in a literal, divine, universal category aspect to men and women. A lot of them are religious, but a lot of them just engage in religious thinking, where, the only reason we have men and women is because we just adopted a mammalian biological standard. There are mammals, by the way, that do not adhere to anything that even remotely approximates our sex differentiation.
Yeah, definitely not.
But, as long as we're...
And even then, there's plenty of mammals that, even with that in mind, and maybe even if they do or not, which they don't anyway, we're the only ones that really do, realistically. But homosexual and very gay. Plenty of animals out there partake in homosexual acts and shit, and yet humans are strangely unique that it's just bad and depraved or something.
On this,
I've honestly unironically I've heard pastors, at least different religious fucking preachers and shit, at least on the internet, that have unironically said that the reason why certain animals like lions and penguins and shit like that are gay is because they literally saw other humans be gay and thus spread the gay to those animals. And it's just what? How in the fuck? It's two lions that are on the prairie and shit, and two tourists who happen to be gay that are holding hands or something, and be oh my goodness, look at a cute little lion over there. It's yeah, that male lion's oh yeah, I'm gonna be gay now. It's that's not how it works. It's what the fuck?
Just a product of a random process. There are plenty of animals on this planet that don't abide by our rules, but they think that the way we are with men and women is...
I didn't know penguins have Pornhub. For real, it's I guarantee that's how these motherfuckers think. It's they're, you got zookeepers who are gay, you're showing these penguins, Pornhub and stuff, making them gay and all that shit. Even though there's literally, unironically, I think it's in a zoo in New York, where there's a gay penguin couple, and I think what's even more adorable is that they even raised an egg together and even had a little baby. It's they adopted the penguin, they adopted a little baby, and it's oh my god. At least from what I heard. It's it's so cute. It's I mean, it's like, and how in the fuck can you just be like, oh my god, about that, it's like, what the fuck? You can't tell me, like, a gay mating pair of penguins, like, raising, a little hatchlet, a little penguin baby, like, and raising it as their own. You can't tell me that's not fucking adorable. You can't tell me that's not cute, because that is. I mean, it's like, when an animal, like a dog adopts, like, a kitten or some shit. Like, like a mom, like a female dog, that's raising some puppies, like, has a lost kitten and it raises it as its own. I mean, it's like some shit like that. It's adorable. You can't, deny it. It's cute. Like, I mean, whatever. Fuck you. Like, I mean, it's just like, cause, I mean, like, it's just like, how? I mean, it's like, why? Like, why be, I mean, considering that, like, humans are capable of it and plenty of other animals, are capable of it, what's the problem with it? I mean, there's, I just get, in some instances, weary of these motherfuckers, man. Because, like, it's never ending. It's just, like, it's always, like, the same shit, different day with these far-right conservative fucks. It's like, man, can they, like, change it up a little bit outside of, like, the fucking group they're scapegoating? Like, do they have any other arguments besides, like, the placeholder of who they're fucking targeting it towards? No? Well, okay, well, it was worth a shot. My god. That felt like an eternity. It's only been 3 hours streaming and I felt like goddamn eternity. Oh, Jesus Christ. This fucking community post. Oh, no. What the fuck? Dad doesn't want to get a dog. Family gets a dog anyway. Dad and the dog. How's this even a YouTube community post? How's this even on YouTube, bro? And why are my furry senses tingling? Because, like, just right here in the vacuum, without that implied, like, I will admit it is doing something for me. But, like, I mean, didn't I get this as a context? Then it's like, that's implied. It's like, oh no. Oh no. No. But the image itself is like, I mean, where's the source of that? Where's the sauce? Where is the sauce? And is it a comic strip? Because I feel like there's a follow-up of that image. Oh no, the first comment. What the fuck? I clicked the comments on this. When men take the dog pill. No! No! Oh my god. The internet. What's wrong with the internet? I don't think that's explainable, but yet I asked that question. And man, it's like the picture itself is just like, I legit dig it, but god damn it, it's like the context that was just applied at the meme. The meme just ruined everything about it. It's like, motherfucker. It's like, man, why they gotta do me like that? Did he just close himself in the laundry room again? Do I have, like, a treat that I can give? I don't. Shit. I forgot to get the meat from work. So, I don't have anything, and now he's just shit out of luck. Oh, wait, no. I actually do. Hey. Can you get out of there? Come here. Come on. Oh, there you go. Hey, popped his head out. Hey, buddy. That's not coming here. Here. Come here. Come here. Here. What the fuck is this? Have a rawhide kebab? It's a kebab. Yeah, here. Have this little kebab thing. Here. Come here. Come on. You little butt. Oh my god. I don't want to have to, like, get up and, like, encourage you to come here. Come on. Oh my god, you little freak. Come here. Oh my god. You're just sniffing it, you freak. Seriously? Get over here. Sukov. Oh my fucking god. Is it because there's like literally a singular bag in the way? Is that it? There. Come here. Come on. It was. Really? Now you're showing up? Oh my god, you little fucking freak. Hi. Hello, little Bobby. You sweet little boy. Mwah. What's up, Bubby? Oh! Oh, fuck! You just punched me, dude. Why? Why'd you do that, you little dick? What was that about? What the hell? What the hell? What the fuck? Do you even deserve that? Do you even deserve this? Yeah, I just stole it from you. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah. There. Oh, trying to assault me? Hey, hey. Wait. Are you serious? Oh my god. You fruit? He don't give a fuck. He's just chomping on it right here. He's like, alright, fine. You're gonna hold on to it for me? Yep. Yeah. There you go. He's a good boy. Here's a little sweet boy. Jesus, little savage. Yeah, get feisty with it. Yeah. Come on, boy. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Wow. Damn. Man, this is like the first time you're actually kind of fighting it. Man, you actually got a little fight in you? Wow, I'm actually surprised. There is some aggression out of you. Oh my god. It's sweet aggression. It's passive aggression. Come on. Yeah, there you go. Get a good grip. Oh! Alright, you win. Alright, ow. Ow. Fucking just like bonked myself right in the nose with that one. Oof. To be fair, I probably had that one coming. Oh, now he's just laying down over there, just being a little sweet boy. Oh. He's just holding on to it with his little paws. It's so cute. Just so adorable. Oh, little happy boy. He's looking at me the entire time too with a face just like, yeah, this is my bitch. I had to make you fight for it a little bit. I have to be so assertive with it. Jeez. Little mutt. God. Fucking goober. Hey, Dios mío, mamma mia, papa pia. Oh, the puppy got diarrhea. Man, that rawhide looks all bloodied up now. I mean, that's just like how the rawhide looks, but... Oh, well, that's why. Because he, like, literally took, like, one chunk of the hide off, and now he's just, like, eating it. And he's saving the other... Oh my god, this weird, meticulous little son of a bitch. Dude, he is, like, weirdly mannerly with this. Like, what in the fuck? He's going after, like, the hide first, specifically. And then he's going after, like, the jerky that was, like, wrapped around it last. Dude, he knows what he likes. Oh my god. What a goof. Dude, he's really getting into it. He's trying. He's trying real hard. Oh. The way he just has his little paws just like holding that shit while he's just like getting into it. It's just so cute. What a goof. Man, I really did fuck another man. I got scratching. Yeah. Boo. Sucks. Don't like that shit. This dog is just the most goofiest looking little puppy. Even though he isn't even really much of a puppy anymore. It's coming along 2 years now at this point, but not quite yet. About like a year, 10 months. Stand up. Oh, is it good stand up? Oh yeah, it's Jim Jeffries. Hey, get back here. Guy's drunk at the party. I like me some Jim Jeffries. I've heard of him.
God loves you. Jesus loves you. Some bullshit like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Christians have this belief that there's a man on a cloud that loves them. Let's say he exists. He doesn't fucking love you. I've heard Christians say that my God loves me unconditionally. No such thing as unconditional love. That's a load of fucking bullshit. My mum always throws that one out there. My mum always goes, Jim, I love you no matter what. I love you unconditionally. And I always think to myself, what if I cut one of her tits off? What if I just got a rusty blade and started hacking into that obese woman's breast? And, like, would she still love me?
Probably not.
She might. I'm not willing to test it, but I can tell you for sure. I can tell you for sure that God does not love you unconditionally. I have already given you a condition. If you don't put a small amount of water on a baby's forehead, it burns for eternity.
Or you just like pseudo drown that baby in a fucking like pool of holy water.
That's the condition of a fucking psychopath. Like, if God showed up at a party, he'd be the least welcome person in party history. Like, everyone would be having a good time, then someone would go, don't look up.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh no.
God's here.
God's here, fuck.
Hey God, how are you going? We didn't know you were going to be here. Yeah, well, I'm fucking everywhere, aren't I? So why the fuck wouldn't I be here? Well, God, it's really great to have you here. We're really happy you're here. Then God's like, everyone! Everyone! Can everyone please be quiet and look at me right now? I've come down to tell all of you, I want you all to know that I love all of you unconditionally. They're like, thanks for that, God, we really appreciate that. And they go back to their party. And then God goes, is that all you have to say?
Is that all?
Sorry, God? I just said I love you? Oh, fucking shit, yeah. We love you too. Good, good, good. Because you know if you don't, you'll fucking burn, right? Yes, God, we really love you. We really love you. Do you love any other gods? No, we don't. We really don't.
No false idols,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. I've had too much to drink. I'm sorry. And then they go back to their party, and obviously God's not getting enough attention. He pipes up again. Everybody!
Oi!
One last thing. I know you all said you love me, and that's really cool of you. I want you to do one more thing for me. Now, I want to point out that you won't burn if you don't do this, but it would go a long way not to burning if you get my fucking drift. Right? It would be really great if you could all sing songs about me.
Oh no.
And they're like, sorry, God?
Sorry, what?
I made the fucking world. Just sing a fucking song. What's the problem? And they're like, yeah, we can do this, can't we, gang? Let's sing some songs for God. And they start singing some gospel music. They begin with God's fucking digging it. He's just...
I love that little hugger dancing.
Because let's not forget that God's a white guy.
Awkward dancing, white guy dancing, I love
And
it.
halfway through this song, God starts to turn. Everyone stops singing.
Oh shit.
Who's the guy in the pink shirt who's enjoying singing?
Oh shit. Oh,
that's Brian and his boyfriend. You know I hate faggots. God, calm down. You just said you love everyone, not faggots, I didn't.
Nope. Not no those little picture pigs, yeah,
Don't
Shay.
you fucking touch me! Don't touch me, you faggot lover! Oh my God, it's probably best you just leave this party. You're all gonna fucking burn, all you fucking cunts.
Oh, you fucking
And he goes outside and he's trying to calm himself down. I fucking hate faggots. Couldn't be clear about this. It's in my book, for fuck's sake.
It's in my damn book.
Everyone's got the book. No one's fucking read the book. Everyone's got the book. Then he passes like a young couple holding hands. He's like, hey, how you doing? You see that tree? I fucking made that shit. Hey, wait. You two married? No. Well, don't fuck each other. I hate young people fucking, and I hate faggots. I also hate people eating shrimp. I mentioned that 8 times in my book, where I only mentioned twice that I hate homosexuals. But people seem to really enjoy eating shrimp, so I've forgotten about that rule. But I'm still very certain I hate faggots.
Damn. That's why I love Jim Jeffries.
Everyone's like, I'm so happy to have him in my life.
So happy,
Constant
yes.
glow I have in my heart.
Such a glow. Dude, I love Jim Jeffries. It's fucking great. Like, it's, I love how, like, you know, there's, like, you know, different, like, conservatives are like, he's not real comedian, he's just, like, you know, fucking, like, you know, woke SJW troll that's just trying to pretend to be a comedian. I'm just like, oh, so a comedian? That knows how to fucking, you know, like, you know, trigger you, you sad fucking soft bitches. Like, wow. Color me shocked. Which at least shows that contemporarily, I mean, these days, there are at least still generally good comedians. Like, you know, good talented comedians that are not fucking like, oh, well, you know, being a comedian mean, like, you basically just get canceled and then you make a grift out of it. It's like, luckily, I mean, there's plenty of comedians that are out there that are great that are not that at all. Like, Jimmy Carr is another one. You know, Jim Jeffries, obviously. Bill Burr is another one. I know everyone's about Bill Burnham, but I've, you know, never checked his shit out, honestly, so I couldn't tell you personally. But, I mean, you know, there's some comedians out there that are still some top-notch shit. I got a little energy left. Let's see. Earlier in the routine, he was talking about how unbaptized babies go to hell, and he was like, let's not act like these babies didn't know what they did. I think I know. I feel like I've heard that joke before. Either he's told it before in a different stand-up, because I remember there was like a Netflix special that he did once, and I don't know if that was it, but I mean I mean, the joke itself definitely sounds familiar, because I've heard the joke before. I've heard him say it. So, I don't know if it was that clip, or, you know, that was from the stand-up special that I watched, or what, but, I mean, to be fair, I've watched a few different stand-up specials. So, but, either way. Dude's good. Here. Let's see. Let's see what random little things are on the tube that I could check out for memes. Little memes. Little memes. What type of little memes are out and about? Maybe they're not little memes. Maybe there might be something else to check out. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I really, there's like a lot of shit that's like 30 plus minutes long, and I'm like, I don't want to like get that hella deep into something. Something shorter. Something that's like less time. Boo. Keeps giving me long form stuff. I don't want long form stuff. At least not right now. Boo. Boo. This be some boat. It just like says like, all right, all that long form content you were looking at here, we're gonna put that at like the top of this, you know, refresh of the, you know, look, you know, of the search list shit. It's like, god damn it, not what I wanted. It's like, no, stop it. Yeah, look at the human support. You upload anything today? Oh, he did, but it was like a dude we've looked at before. It's like this fruitcake that is literally at a Target and shit. It's this guy. We've seen that. I know Mike had a take about Ben Shapiro's silliness. I want to hear his take. Fuck it. We'll watch this shit. We saw a DFS, you know, take from yesterday, so fuck it. We'll just do a little reaction for this.
Is outraged that Build-A-Bear is featuring a RuPaul version of their bears that you can purchase. Bears. I've never been to Build-A-Bear, so I'm assuming that like you can just grab particular elements and create whatever bear that you want. But for whatever reason, because there is a RuPaul Build-A-Bear that you can make, Ben Shapiro is real mad, and he's going to tell us how mad he is in this video.
Tell how it is.
Say that they're not coming after the kids. That's a lie. They're coming after the kids. Apparently, Build-A-Bear, which is a store that I've taken my kids to a lot, right? This is where you actually go to the store, and they have sort of these kind of teddy bear skins. You get the filling, and you fill the bear, and you take it home, and the kids love it. It's really fun. They've decided that they need to drag queen the...
Wait, that sounds offensive, because if you're taking the teddy bear skin and you're filling it, like, couldn't you argue that that's teaching the kids to, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna make that joke. You know what I was gonna...
Do taxidermy?
Going for. I'm not gonna make that joke, though.
You know, do some stuffing? You know, like... Mike... Oh my god. It took me a second, but oh my fucking god. Mike, you dirty motherfucker. You fucking edgy boy, Mike. Oh my god, is there an edgelord in Mike? Is there an edgelord deep down in Mike Figueredo that I'm not aware of?
Exactly what the fuck I was thinking. I'm not gonna.
Oh my god, Mike, you fucking
Yeah.
savage.
So
Yeah, taxidermy. That's what I was going for, Twitchy.
Oh yeah, totally.
You're all thinking it, okay? The way he described it, there was something just like inherently sexual about that. So we'll move on from that.
Workshop is now offering a new RuPaul drag queen bear, which makes
Love it.
perfect sense because you definitely need to teach your kids about boys who dress up as
Just
girls.
imagine Ben's kiss hearing him talk about this.
The stuff that
Fuck, this is another thing it's not gonna let us do anymore. Ugh. Why does our lives have to suck so much?
will immediately caused outrage online, according to the Daily Mail, with many calling out the business for selling the bear amid growing controversy regarding drag performances.
Growing controversy regarding drag performances. And who is driving this controversy? Ben,
Bad Walsh.
tell us, who's driving this controversy? Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you all. It is going to be nearly impossible to continue talking about this while holding back my overwhelming urge to call Ben Shapiro the F slur. I'm like...
I mean, Mike, this is why you need to stream on YouTube, because you can get away with it. Because guess what? Ben Shapiro is indeed a faggot. Ben Shapiro is a little faggot. I can get away with saying it, because I'm not on Twitch. Because Ben Shapiro is a faggot. Dude, there is an edgelord in Mike Figueredo. Oh, wow. A spicy Mike.
Meme of the kid in school with like the bulging veins. That's me right now, because like there's something about him that just like brings out the inner schoolyard bully in me, and I'm not even a bully, but like he makes me want to bully him for
It's Ben Shapiro. It's obviously justifiable.
justifiable reasons,
Yes.
arguably, right?
Yes.
But like I can't help myself.
I mean, you know, because it's Ben Shapiro. I mean, he is like a Weasley little fucking grifty fucking right-wing little faggot. I mean, that's what he is. Like, I mean, Mike isn't wrong. You know what? Mike gave the pass, so, you know, Ben's being called a faggot now. Fuck it. Mike Figueredo, you know, our progressive bread tubing, you know, like, lumberjack gay boy, like, I mean, he gave the pass.
overwhelming. Like I want to call him the F slur, but I can't because that would be in violation of Twitch's terms of service. But like, you understand? Like, I feel like this feeling that I have is legitimate, and I know you all feel it too, right?
Yes,
It's just,
I do.
I'm just being honest. Okay, that's where I'm at. Okay, I see Ben Shapiro. I see this fucking the performative outrage over things that he knows are just non-issues, and I
Oh my
want to bully
God.
him. Okay, I want to
love
shove
it.
him into a locker.
Oh my god, I love it.
The controversy first erupted online with my friend Matt Walsh's tweet, which included a screen grab of
Of course it was. I knew it. I mean, I kind of already knew that, but whatever.
I was saying they're the ones who are driving the outrage.
Build-A-Bear website with the RuPaul bear advertised. The drag queen bear is stated as being included in the bear cave, but still shown on the general website, which is accessible to all. Apparently, it's for 18-plus shoppers, but it's right there at the top of the front page.
Which isn't even like, you know, sexually explicit like shoppers. It's just like literally general like pop culture stuff. I mean, we kind of get the idea. I just kind of want to hear a little bit of Mike's take. I mean, honestly. Here. Fuck you, Ben. We already know.
When you've talked about how Cat in the Hat has gone too woke, or no, actually I'm misremembering. This was back in the era when they were claiming that cancel culture was too much, and Cat in the Hat was getting canceled, and Potato Head was getting canceled. But in this new era where everything has gone woke, like when you talked about how I don't know, Budweiser has gone woke, and this has gone woke, and M&Ms have gone woke, but also they're no longer fuckable, but they've gone woke simultaneously. Like, when you've gone through literally, like, every single cultural institution and feigned outrage over how woke they've gotten, like, there's got to be a certain point when you're just tired of pretending, and I think that we've reached that point with Ben Shabibo here, where he's like, okay, yeah, there's a RuPaul drag queen bear, yeah, this is bad. Like, they can't even...
It's horrible. It's the depravity. I mean, we kind of get the gist, though. Like I said, we kind of checked it out last night, but yeah. But grow weary, a little tired. Honestly, that Matt Walsh thing earlier knocked me out. So, but either way, I'll go for the rest of the night. So, peace out.